We're back at it. Let's get it. It's the most epic moment in the song, right to start the broadcast. Okay, we got scrims, as usual. It's like a daily thing, of course. Maniac is watching Optic scrims. We're going to be watching... I'm going to put Optic up, but I want to focus on SSG and SR today. And then we're going to have a special guest. We've got Hunter coming by today, too. What's up? What's up? Hold on. I don't have my chats open. YouTube. Tommy, how we doing? SSG getting dominated bad. How many games in? Didn't it start at 5 p.m. Eastern? I hope to God it started at 5 p.m. Eastern. We haven't missed much. King Titan. Donnie Woods, Mr. Skyway. That's right. To the sky we go. Rabusa. How we doing? 4-1, but SR dominated maps? How is it already that far into the scrim? I thought they started at 5 Eastern. I guess that was not correct, and they started like an hour ago. Maybe. Legend, last shot, precision, Lucid _TW. They started at like 4. Oh, that's kind of lame. Talk about propaganda. Says I'm gonna watch SR and SSG. Yeah. What do you mean? No. I haven't started.
Oh, that is just good.
Oh, Jiwari, 3 months.
Damn good Halo.
My God. Let's go, Jiwari. Welcome back, brother. I'm just getting every single POV that I could think of that's playing scrims right now. I already have precision. So precision is on complexity. That's the Optic complexity series that's currently taking place. And then C9 is doing something versus money scrim. What's a money scrim? Is that different than regular scrims? They're putting money down on it? Are they trying to raise the stakes so TSM plays a little better? Any last shot comms? Who do I think is the best player at the moment? I don't know, Rabusa. Like anybody in the top 2 teams or top 4 teams. Kind of is playing Infinite, but I can't find games on EU for long queue time. That sucks. Wavius, I'm not sure what it's like over in Europe right now. You like the music? Just, your standard Halo bangers. Bro, expected something other than Optic? We got it. This is last shot's POV. No comms for scrims. That's fine. That's fine. We're going to be talking a lot today anyway. Okay, guys. So today we're going to have Hunter JJX come join us. Hunter is a longtime Halo player. At one point, I believe a pro. He's competed for pro since, I want to say, Halo 3 or even earlier. Man's kind of a legend. He is, I believe, sponsored. He works with Complexity in some capacity as a content creator. He's commentated Halo before as well. So I don't know if we're going to be commentating or if we're just going to kind of be vibing, watching the games, catching up, talk to him a lot of Worlds. So it'd be nice. This will be fun. This is Best Man's POV? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll be honest. I feel like that's taking up a lot of screen space. You can't just I don't know. Game sound, yeah. Thank you, Renell. Welcome. Appreciate you. I was Onyx, what, season 0 to 2? Queue time got to 10 minutes plus, so I gave up. Is it that bad for Onyx players in Europe right now? Comb beard. Certain bandit models have an advantage, or do I think it's just preference? No, it's just preference. Wait, why would one bandit model have an advantage? 'Cause one just looks more final, right? I'll be honest, this bandit model is not my favorite, but last shot's still dominating, so you know, maybe he knows something we don't. Weapon model offsets, it's all preference. Maybe except for the rockets. Like the rocket launcher, of course, is a massive weapon, so there might be some advantage to setting it like as far away from the screen as possible, right? Francis, how we doing, brother? I hope y'all having a great day. I'm having a wonderful day, bro. Got 156 on the YouTube already. Welcome, YouTube. Slush. It says optic first triggers down. That's false. There's no way. I changed it. My bad. My bad. YouTube is correct. I didn't make a tweet or a Discord post. A Dark Horse player? They had a rough scrim yesterday against Optic, man. I'm not going to lie. Like, knowing how good that team is, it's like, you know, a little disheartening to see them get beat that badly. Who's better, Triggers Down or C9? I feel like they're in a similar category right now, right? They placed the same at the qualifier last weekend, so I think it's, you know, maybe it's 50-50. I'm not sure. I want to give the edge to C9 because they've had more time playing together. So we'll start with that. That's a good question, Norton. This is Last Shot's POV, and for whatever reason, he's got Best Man's, like, still image. Little portfolio or whatever profile photo, like over the camera. I'm not sure why. Best Man's the coach of Shopify. Optic are 2-0 versus SR. So are we like in the inverse today? Because I thought that the Shopify scrim was starting at 5 and the Optic one was starting at 4. It seems like the Optic one just started. One thing Lethal knows how to do is when he's in a Dark Horse, he's that guy on land. But there are a lot of players with a lot of land experience at this point, you know. Lethal's got an excellent history, don't get me wrong. Last year was a rougher one, though. I think seeing them play as well as they did in the qualifier was, you know, had me, like, optimistic about their chances. But that Optic scrim was just not great. Maybe they're in a different... They were max energy. Like, who knows what headspace they were in playing that scrim. It's his screen. Yeah. Thank you, Nord. Much love, man. Is it annoying? I don't know what to do. This is Last Shot's POV, right? So if we want to be graced by this level of gameplay. The Cave plays games. Thank you for the follow. We sort of have to put up with it. How much does internet connection impact your play? I've gotten Diamond 4 but constantly unstable latency. Just want to know if that's really holding me back. I mean, if you're getting like unstable like packet loss on a regular basis, then that probably would hold you back because it's going to throw you around the map and like make it impossible to play. No, I think internet connection definitely matters. I wouldn't say it's like the reason that somebody's not getting an Onyx rank, but if you're getting unstable packet loss, then that might be contributing to the point where it depends on how bad it is, man. I don't know. Like, if there's nothing you can do about it, then you probably can't focus on it too much, I guess. Like, if there's something you could do about it, then maybe try to fix it. If you're not on wired internet, like try to get on wired internet, you know? Optic versus TSM Quali flag from like a week ago, right? Yeah, I saw it. It was good content. We talked about it actually a few times. Because they posted it before last weekend's qualifier, right? So we watched a little bit of it, watching LVT. It's good to see. Especially if they could do more. It's hard content to make, but it's good content. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it took a lot of time to do all those edits. Spark up. I'm here. I'm locked in, Molly. How you doing? Tell us your opinion on why SSG is not good. I don't think they're not good. Maybe not good by their standards, but they're definitely good. They're just getting a little slow at the gate. Okay, so Hunter's joining us, guys. Be nice. He's calling. Hello? Hello? Either you're very quiet or I don't... It shows you talking. Hold on. Oh no, is this on my end? No. Let me see if I can make some changes in my settings. I don't hear you right now. Voice and video. Hello, talk. Nothing. Still nothing. Maybe now. Hunter.
Yo.
Okay, I hear you through my system. That's kind of weird though. Like if I...
That means you got the wrong
That is
device.
just good Halo right there. That is
For
just
output.
damn good Halo. My God.
Yes, yeah. So I changed... Wait, maybe I can do game. Try again?
Check. Mike,
Okay, I hear you on game, which at least is something separate than system, I think. For some reason, the chat mic isn't working, which is weird. Hold on. All right, how about now?
Yo.
Okay, I think this will be okay. As long as I'm not moving you with the system. Hunter, man, how you doing, brother?
I'm chilling, man. How are you?
Good, man. It's been a while. We haven't talked since, like, Worlds, man.
Yeah, but that was a lot of fun, though. Like
That was fun.
I think back at that seafood place. That was so good.
Oh, my God, yeah. Chad, if you guys aren't aware, I mean, that's what Seattle's known for, right? The seafood?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had these, like, lobster rolls, or not rolls, or whatever they are. Just freaking straight up lobster.
Yeah, it was insane.
So good.
Dude, yeah. I'm actually, my energy is a little bit low right now because I'm at the very end of a 3-day fast right now. Like I'm gonna go get food here in like an hour and a half.
Okay.
But like just talking about food
We
right
can't
now,
talk about food. Okay.
I'm just like, bro.
Okay, anything but food. I don't know. Wait, 3-day fast is nuts. How are you doing a 3-day fast? So you're not eating anything for 72 hours?
No, I've only had water and black coffee basically.
And how does that help you exactly? Is that like a mental clarity thing?
I mean,
Use that the
it's a
system?
number of things, but yeah, totally clean out the system. There's a number of reasons why I needed to do a fat one. I felt like I went off the rails eating wise and stuff over the holidays and like never caught back up. So I'm just trying to hit the reset and get my schedule back. But then also like, I got a couple of buddies of mine and I like in a group chat, and it's like just a bunch of dudes where it's like, hey, when we're going through stuff in life, let's just hit a fast together. We'll pray for each other, and then we'll go get food together at the end of it, kind of thing. So it's like me and probably like 3 or 4 other dudes that are doing this together right now.
Okay.
So, yeah, so wrapping that up today. But
Cool.
yeah, dude, thinking about that Seattle food, I'm like, bro.
I mean, you started with that. You're like, I could tell you're hungry though, because that's the first thing that you went to when I brought up the Worlds. So didn't talk about the Halo. The first thing you thought about was I didn't realize the wavelength that you were on. But I'm glad you're doing that with your buddies, though. I don't think I could do that alone, man. That sounds like I would cheat. I would definitely cheat.
Yeah. It definitely helps knowing that you're not the only one doing it.
Yeah.
Who are you watching right now? What
Okay,
stream are
so
you on?
I have Last Shot's POV on, which I wanted. I think I want to keep Best Man's just like he's just right there. Like if you're on, he's taking up like a good fourth of the screen, bro. Like I don't know.
That's like where my cam is, so it's actually kind of working out for me right now. Like I'm just covering up Best Man's giant face.
You're live
on my
right?
stream. Yeah,
perfect. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do the collab thing like through Twitch? Can we try that?
Absolutely. Let me. I have to go to Chrome to do it. Let me go to Chrome.
Yeah, I had to do the same thing. Okay, cool. Wait, I'm gonna knock. I think I knocked. Wait, no, hold on.
I see that. Wait, can I accept it through Streamlabs now? Let me see.
Allow
accept.
I'm gonna mute this.
Yeah, I gotta pull it up on Chrome. Hang on one second.
Yeah, I don't know why that guy's photo's there. Hey, yeah, I think you know what I might do. I might throw my cam over Best Man. That might be the play, but then I have to keep switching it.
Yeah, so if you want to hit the shared chat thing, you can get that rolling.
Right. Hold on.
It'll be that.
Checking. Shared chat. This is like my second time doing this. So this might be.
Oh, it's all good. It's like it's under the manage tab on there, where it shows participants. It's like right above that. It should have a button that says like start shared chat or something like that.
Oh. I think we did it.
Perfect.
Try it.
Nice. We're good.
Chats are combined. Perfect. Okay, so if you're currently on Twitch, guys, Hunter is streaming. Make sure to check him out. His chat and in our chat, we're connected now, so you can talk between the two, and I guess we'll see them both, which is dope. If you're on YouTube, of course, just feel free to vibe. You can see the chat on screen as well. But yeah, Hunter and I, just like last week with Miquin, we're gonna be hanging out. We'll be talking about the games. We'll be talking about, I guess, life too, man. Like no expectations. You don't need to go like full commentator mode or anything, or you could. I'll try to keep up. But
I think if the moment calls for it, I think we lock in. But like
cool.
For the most part, I'm just happy to hang out with you, man. Honestly,
man, it's a pleasure. It was great chatting with you like months ago, and I keep wanting to connect, but then it's always like, are we gonna game together? And am I gonna be locked in? Can I keep up with this guy because he's kind of cracked?
I know how like the schedules thing too. It's like I'm usually on early and then you're on later, so it's like it just hasn't lined up. But it's one of those things where like, regardless of if we're talking every day or not, you're my boy, and we can always connect for stuff like this.
I appreciate you, man. Hell yeah. Okay, I got last shots POV. How's things been with you?
Series,
go for it.
The series is, I think it's 1-0 or 2-0 Shopify.
No, I think we're deeper into this. Chat was telling me it's
is
like,
it? Okay.
Yeah, it might be like several games in, like game 5 or 6 or something.
Okay.
It was supposed to start at 5, but I think it started early.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense then. Well, then throw everything I said out the window. But yeah,
you're good.
I just got that Scuff Valor Pro today. So
what is that?
It's like the new Scuff controller. It's like 1000 hertz, Holofax sticks and stuff. It's like,
oh my god.
And it's half the price of the Instinct Pro somehow. It's like Scuff's, I guess, answer to GameSir, I would imagine.
Does it have 6 buttons?
Yeah.
Oh
no, it has 4.
4?
Sorry, 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the same paddle design as the Instinct?
Similar but different, I would say. I feel like it's like they took that design and kind of
improved it.
Improved it for this one.
I think that was my biggest reservation.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really use a lot of paddles, so it doesn't affect me. But it was one of those things where I always like the Scuff Instinct was my favorite controller ever, but it didn't have the the no drift and the polling that the GameSirs did. So I switched over to those for a while, and then pretty much as soon as Scuff announced this one, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I was just started using it today. It's cool. I mean, I haven't had time to like really dial in my settings on what I'm going to play on yet for it, but like just the way it feels in my hand, it's by far the best feeling controller in my hand ever. Like, it feels amazing. Yeah.
Damn,
it's really ergonomic.
You get me kind of antsy. Like now, I feel like I got to try it out. That's the thing with these controllers, bro. There's so many controllers now. There's like 6, 7 different like solid options. So I'm constantly thinking like, should I test it? Like that, the state that I'm in is the same that you were in with the Scuff, but for me with the Battle Beaver, where they don't really have a good haul stick option right now, but I love the feel of it. It's just comfortable.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
The Razor feels like the sticks are great. The Razor is a great package, but it doesn't feel good in my hands. I don't know.
See, I haven't used. I never got the razor.
Okay.
I didn't have the hookup for that like everybody else did.
I didn't get the hookup, but I went and bought it because everybody else got the hookup. I got jealous. I was like, dude, I'm just gonna buy this thing.
I didn't let my FOMO get the best of me on that one. Which I'm kind of impressed with myself for that alone.
Yeah.
But the I mean, dude, I play with Snakebite pretty much every morning. And he literally has like 3 or 4 different controllers that he just rotates.
Right.
Like every other game he's swapping controllers. Like, so
Mick
like you said, there's so many options now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I have the GameSir G7. I have the GameSir Khalid. I have the Scuff Instinct Pro. I now have the Scuff Valor Pro. I have the Elite 2. Like, but I mean, I'm pretty much. I think I'm gonna narrow it down to this Scuff and the GameSir Khalid. I think are my favorite two.
I heard, for the record, sorry to interrupt you there. I heard that
No, you're good.
that Snakebite was kind of a rare breed, though, according to Mickwood, is that he can do that. Like, not many people can do that. Switch controllers. Like, apparently mid-tournament, he switched his control scheme to, like, Boxer or something, like back in Halo 3. Mickwood was telling me.
That doesn't surprise me.
That's wild, bro. Just being able to change your control scheme, flip your whole world upside down, and then still be nasty at the game.
I think I could do the two. Like, so I play... I've been playing left trigger aim now for, I guess, probably maybe like close to a year on Infinite.
You're a zoomer.
I switched like a year ago. But I think, I mean, I could switch back to right stick, click aim, and B button melee and all that stuff like pretty instantaneously. I feel like,
right?
Like I could do those two. I mean, like I had to switch back for the Halo 2 event, you know, the throwback event, and I didn't get to play the game prior, so I just had to immediately snap back into where I was in 2007 playing, you know, Halo 2 buttons, X reload and all that stuff. But it wasn't a big deal. But certain switches, like, you know, going to something like Boxer, like that'd be crazy. You know, it's not something that I've like spent a lot of time on in the past. But I never know. Maybe Snakebite's just played on a lot of different settings or something through the years.
I wonder if there's like a benefit, like from like this is like a freaking, I feel like, what's his name? I can't remember his damn name, but like you know, neuroplasticity. And keeping your mind in a state where you're like actively learning quickly. Like, is there like a benefit for the brain in switching control schemes or something like that? You know what I mean? Going back and playing like classic Halo 3 settings and having to like, I don't know, keep your mind in a state where you're very malleable.
I learned recently, actually. I was listening to this video game podcast, and they were talking about like the science of fun. And basically one of the conclusions they came to, which makes sense to me,
that's like, who it is, Andrew Huberman, is that fun is the concept of like learning something new and applying it. Like, that's what fun actually is. So if you think of like any game or anything you do in life, it's like, oh, if I'm playing basketball, I'm having fun because I worked on my shot and now I'm like watching my shots go in, so that feels fun. And so like applying that to video games, I just applied it straight to Halo. I was like, no wonder I like to change my settings all the time, just because like I'll be playing great on settings and then just change them for no reason, because like to me it's like a subtle dopamine hit of like, interesting.
Oh, I swapped my settings and I'm like I'm mastering these new settings, so this is the fun that I'm having right now. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
So there's like a whole psychology behind it where like fun is just the idea of learning something new and applying it to anything. Dang, dude, last shot's eyes right there, seeing Snake, but that's crazy.
Camo eyes? No, I know.
Yeah, dude.
It's got to look different on his monitor. That's why I wonder, in like when you're playing in pro play on LAN, like the ability these guys have to see camo is just kind of wild. You got me thinking though. You could expand on that.
That is just good Halo.
Ardius,
right
my God.
That is just damn good Halo.
Ardius,
My
thank you so
God.
much, brother.
Ardius.
Yeah, man's a go 5 gifted. I appreciate you so much, man. Thank you, Ardius. Expand
on
that.
Closing on 800. Let's get Shyway at 800 subs.
We're getting there. Yo, you've got the science locked down
close.
though. I saw your channel recently. You're on like, I don't know, 1,300 plus or something.
I'm at
you're killing
15,
it.
20 something right now.
Holy, my God, you're killing it.
So it's been pretty.
I got to figure out what you're doing.
Chat's been good to me. I mean, dude, you being at almost 800, that already puts you in like the top 0.1% of Halo streamers, Halo content creators. That's great to see. So I'm glad to see everybody supporting you. And yeah, bro, we pump those numbers up. Let's go.
Thank you. What you were saying though, just on the topic of like having fun, changing things, like you know, the way your brain has to work to.
This is the way.
Yeah, like you said, that dopamine concept. I feel like you could expand on that. Like, have you seen that like the optimal circumstances for flow state that you need? Like those videos on flow state where it's a combination of
Halo
oh my God,
there.
chat's going crazy.
That is just damn good Halo.
My God.
Must have a hype train.
Where it's like a certain level of challenge to enjoyment of the activity to like there's like certain components that need to align for you to achieve and maintain flow state. If something's like too easy,
that's really interesting.
Yeah, if something's too easy, then you won't lock in. It won't be entertaining. It's got to be like challenging, but not too challenging that it throws you off and makes you feel like you're helpless. You know what I mean? So there's like a perfect sweet spot where like you feel like you can, you know, reach that level that motivates you to lock in. Plus the fun that you're having. Plus there's certain factors. It's definitely I don't have it on hand, obviously, but I've seen videos on that where they're like, if you want to achieve flow state, these are the things that you want to align, and that'll give you the best chances of getting there. Because of course, flow state is what we're all looking to achieve in anything in life, right? If you want to succeed in anything,
totally.
It's your attention, right? Yeah. If you look at a billionaire, anybody who's successful, their ability to control their attention, that's what they've mastered.
That is just good Halo right there.
That's
just
where they find
damn
success.
good Halo. My God.
Neurostalker. Speaking of
Let's go,
neurology.
gang. All right, let's go. We're close to 800. We're 20 away. Let's get it.
Oh my God, Neuro, thank you so much.
Where the 20 gifters at? Let's get this thing over and done with, boys.
Hey, everything you gifted me has to go to Hunter, so I hope you're prepared to double up. Neuro and Ardius, we gotta do the same energy, both chats.
That's not how this works. I'm here for you, bro. I'm here for you. I
come on,
appreciate you just having me on.
You went out of your way, but thank you, man. That means a lot. But that's really interesting. Like you said, so you change your settings. It sort of increases the challenge. It creates a learning factor, adds a dynamic. And so it's not just that you're having fun. You're more focused now, right? Because you have to be more focused to kind of acclimate. So there's something deeper to that. Yeah, that's really cool.
I mean, I don't think it's the best thing to do ever. Like, you got to be built a certain kind of way to be able to flow that well. You know, I certainly have respect for people like, I mean, Roy put his sense on 2 or 3 or whatever it was, and like just never changed it ever, ever. You know what I mean? Like,
it's like Renegade.
There's like a mastery to that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think Renegade's been on the same
4,
thing
6, 7
forever.
Yeah,
for you know, and so like there's certainly you know, that's how you achieve mastery. But for those of us who aren't the greatest on planet Earth, like, yeah, switch it up sometimes. You know, have some fun with it. Neurostalker, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Welcome in. King Titan, thanks for the follow. Welcome.
Be curious to get your thoughts on how things are going with Halo and Scrims right now. Like, obviously, you know, a lot's happened since we last chatted. All the teams have flipped upside down. We've had the most chaotic roster mania we've ever seen, which I think is a good thing for the scene. Having come out of qualifiers, like, what are some of your thoughts on like how that went? Where the teams stack up? Did it go to expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that teams. I'll say what I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting Optic to beat Shopify
really so
soon, I guess.
Okay.
I felt like Shopify really has been working really hard, whereas Optic, they were kind of in vacation mode. I mean, they're still playing. They're amazing players. They're not ever going to not be gaming and stuff, you know. But my prediction was that like early on in this season, I felt like Shopify would be kind of a cut above the rest, and that people, and then, you know, I even predicted that they would probably win maybe the first LAN potentially, and that then after that we would see, you know, SSG and Optic kind of start winning events and be in the mix. So, I mean, it's not necessarily like a spoiler or not a spoiler, but like it's not a shocker when Optic wins anything with their current lineup, right? But I guess I wasn't as like high on them off the rip as most people were, just because I think that like, yes, they are incredibly talented, like through the roof talented, but I think that in year 4 of Infinite, a lot of people are really talented.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
everybody's kind of at, like, we've been here, done that long enough that there aren't any surprises anymore. For sure.
Yeah.
So practice is what really matters, what you're saying, just the time in that Shopify
yeah,
had.
exactly. Yeah, I feel like with the top 3 oh my goodness, Slash.
That look away sprint thing you did, is that what you saw? Yeah, that was nasty.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That 5, yeah.
I to this day, I've never done that in a fight ever.
You've
like,
never done the sprint strafe in a fight like that?
No.
Do you see Royal 2 warm up and aimbots?
Way too old for that. Yeah, he's insane.
Royal 2's got, he's got this science to it where his aimer goes a specific distance from the target every time he looks away. Like he's got it like he's inputting it like a fighting move combo. You know what I mean? Like it's so perfect.
I feel like I would be so much better if I did it, because I'm such a right sticker anyways. I might as well have like learned to like do that, but it's just such a counterintuitive way of like shooting and fighting compared to just Halo muscle memory from 2 decades of playing. But what I was saying about talent wise, it's like I think in the top 3 teams, talent, like it kind of all averages out, and so I was expecting, you know, a little bit more I guess contention there for Shopify because of the fact that they've had a little bit more practice. But Optic winning the first qualifier. I mean, there's kind of like the first one is always like the tone setter, like the pace setter.
Wow.
Right? Because now everybody, now Optic, you know, they have #1 seed right now for the first event, right? So it's like,
well, did they,
even if
is that guaranteed? What if they flop on the next Open?
Well, I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. So far, I'm saying if you had the tournament, if the first line was this weekend, Optic would be #1 seed, right? Obviously, it's not going to be. So now heading into week 2, it's like you start to do that math of like, well, what if SSG wins, but at the same time Optic got top 2? They're still going to have the #1 seed, so they get to set the pace, right? Like they get to now determine whether or not they're going to have that #1 seed going into that first event. It literally comes down to them just living up, like playing up to their expectations now,
right? Or
playing up to, you know, their standards now, like, and they are completely in control of that. It's not up to anything else, right? And so similarly, for like, for example, Shopify, like this is already their best seed they've ever had as an organization,
right?
You know what I mean? Heading to land, they're already seeing the results of how much of an investment they've made into Halo, and like the fact that, you know, they were kind of struggling there. They were bleeding money for a while there. You know what I mean? Like some of these rosters they've had. So they finally have like a contender. And
last year was good.
They
though,
already
too.
get to see the. Yeah, no, last year was great.
Good improvement. Yeah, last year for sure.
Absolutely. Last year and this year were like the come up years for them. I feel like the first 2 years were like them in the trenches, kind of figuring out the scene. So for that team and that org, like I'm really happy for them. They're starting to see the results already of, you know, their investment and their time in, and they're already like, and it looks great. And honestly, dude, like, this Shopify team on paper is unbelievable. Like they're I the way I put it is like they're the angriest team in the circuit for sure.
Angriest, you know, like, you're right. They've got the bone to
they're
pick, I think, with everybody.
They by far are the maddest team out there.
For sure.
And like
everybody's got except Snakebite, maybe. Snakebite, like, you know, is more amicable, but I don't even think he probably didn't want to split the way that it did. It was more, we have to do this, Royal 2 and I, like, we got to split up because this is just the circumstances we're in. So really good point. Like everybody's they're on a revenge tour collectively, which is crazy.
And like an angry Frosty, dude, an angry Royal 2, like that's crazy. On top of
formal enemies of everybody.
Yeah, I was one of the only people that said this, but I've been saying since like year 3 that Cycle's a top 5 player in the game.
Oh, he's gross.
Last Shot is the best new talent in the game. So it's like they've got this crazy squad that I'm really excited to see how they do on land. But then also too, like on the other side of things, you look at like our team, like Complexity, like we didn't have the showing we wanted to, you know what I mean? And like I think we've always had the issue where it's like we have a really high ceiling, but our floor is really low, and like we played to our floor last weekend, you know. And
I want to
so
talk
now
about
it's
Complexity
like,
at some point too. Yeah,
it's an uphill climb now the rest of these qualifiers, right? Because you're having to like somehow negate out that rough showing in week 1 and like end up with somewhat of a seed, you know. So
yeah,
you know, by qualifier 2 we'll have like a more solidified idea of where everyone stands. But so far, I mean, it's kind of looking the way I would expect. I would have swapped Shopify and Optic, but you know, outside of that, I think it's that phase roster though, I think they definitely
kind of deadly.
Yeah, I'm not overperformed, but I think they exceeded expectations, right? I think people looked at that team as like the leftovers, and they definitely were like, no, like we're better.
Yeah,
no pun intended. You know what I mean?
Interestingly, yeah, and I have a couple thoughts on that. First off, though, so what you're saying though is you kind of came in expecting SR to play as well as they did, but now that you've seen Optic win earlier than you expected, where do you place Optic? Like, is your whole kind of expectations for the first major and everything sort of flipped around? You're thinking now Optic is the team to beat. Now they actually could be the ones to win this.
Yes and no. I still think that there is like the online factor. So like I do think that. I mean, when you look at Optic, those guys are all champs. So I guess I would say they're definitely like they're the team to beat.
Yeah.
You know, they're all like they've all won events on land. So, and that's the thing with Shopify. Like that's the one like I don't know. Right? I guess you could say I have is like with Cycle and Lash Out. Like it's a lot harder to go somewhere you've never been before than to go back to somewhere that you've been. If that
correct.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you've already
you know
proven to yourself that you are capable of and deserve that kind of role. That space. Yeah.
It like changes your mindset once you've like won.
Yes.
You know? So
make me think of C-Bomb. I don't know if you follow C-Bomb. Yeah. Once you win one, you know you can do another, and it's just about like maintaining and loving the journey as you go through it. You know.
Yeah. No, 1000%. So. It'll be interesting to see. Like I really did have Shopify winning. I had Shopify and SSG winning one event each this year, and then Optic winning the rest. That's kind of what I like my prediction. But we'll see. With Optic already winning, already like
Dangerous.
getting ahead, it's like
Yeah.
well, that is super dangerous. So we'll see.
How much of a role do you think ping plays in results? Because you had brought up how well you think FaZe is playing. So interestingly, FaZe and Optic are in a unique position where I think their entire teams are in Texas. I'm not sure if Joey's in Texas currently, Trippy, but I just saw them they were going to a casino. They posted, what was it, Suppress posted a photo the other day. So they're all near each other. They're all playing on the same ping, playing in a close proximity, which might increase like chemistry as well, not just internet connection. So I think, like, how significant do you think that is, and is that part of the reason why FaZe happens to be playing better than SSG and giving Optic and SR a little bit of trouble?
No, it's massive. I mean, so like, there's the plus side, like you mentioned, like being next to your teammates and stuff is huge. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at those shots from Formula right there on your stream.
Yeah, I switched over because we're waiting. Now here we got last shots coming back. Do we want Lucid or last shot? What are you thinking?
We can switch to Lucid. We'll get a little Lucid POV. They've been winning the last couple of games. Yeah.
Make sure that you're watching on. I would recommend watching on your own screen, just so we're linked up in timing of things, right? Because if you're watching through me, you're gonna be 5-second delay. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I am watching on my own screen.
Okay, perfect.
The other way we could have done it is like do Discord, but we're chilling right now.
That would be easy. But yeah, this is fine. Yeah.
But as far as pings go, like it matters more in this game than any game ever.
It does, right?
Like,
it's such an online game, so I kind of get the
Texas
argument.
ping is broken. Like it's not the same game. Like so when you have players that are playing from much farther away. I don't know who the technically the outliers are. Like so many of the pros moved to Texas for this game.
Correct.
But I'm like with Shopify. I'm trying to think of where those guys are playing from. I mean, Royal 2's Canada.
I mean, he's in an awkward spot for sure. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know where Last Shot is.
Isn't he like on a farm somewhere? Like that's what I've heard.
That's what I feel like.
I've heard he's on a farm somewhere on like Starlink or something like that. Yeah. I don't know.
Optics up 6-0. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean,
the complexity scrims that too.
The scrims, like for us, it's like we're probably gaining a lot more than they are. Like every loss is a lesson. So losing a lot of games, if you have the right mindset as a team, if you're like together and you're not worried about winning or losing in scrims. Like so when I teamed with Hysteria, this was one of the things that I learned from him is like when we were scrimming, he wasn't even looking at like series score or game score. He was looking at moments. He was like, did we win that moment? Did we lose that moment? How do we win that moment next time we're in that similar situation together? Like breaking it down to like the micro, not even looking at like games won versus lost, but it's like, in this game, like we had this moment that previously we struggled with this type of situation, but we did a lot better. That's a win. You know what I mean? So a lot of these teams like you want to it feels good to win games, and I'm sure that they're looking at their series scores, but more than that, they're looking to see where they've improved and where they've maybe taken steps back as a team. And so like for us, for complexity, like we're down 0-6 to Optic, we're down 0-6 to the best team in the world. Like we're not going into that scrim expecting to win every single game and sweep them. We're going into that scrim looking to be like, hey, what can we like learn from this team that's clearly having a lot of success right now, and how can we apply that to our own team? You know what I mean? So that's kind of the mentality you have to have. You have to be together.
That's such a great way to look at it. I mean, I think it's easy on the outside to see a team like Complexity getting beat the way that they did, or see Lethal's team last night, Triggers Down, get beat by Optic the way they did, and think like, how are these guys motivated in any way? Like, do you even just continue competing? Like, you just got 13-1 by Optic. Like, is your whole team deflated? Like, you know what I mean? But I think that the way that you identified it is that every game is a collection of scenarios. You're not necessarily losing the game. You're losing specific scenarios that result in your eventual loss, right? So it's like, what are those individual scenarios? What went wrong that led to us losing the point? If you can focus on specifically that and fix it so that scenario goes right in the future, then next thing you know, you're winning games. So you're getting the OBJ points. So that's a great way to look at it. That would keep you motivated and keep the team working together. And knowing that you are associated with Complexity, I'm kind of curious, like, where do you have like a bit of like an insider's scoop? You know what I mean? Like, are you involved in any way in the like VOD review process, or like you know what I mean, like a little bit closer with the team and their progress, where they're headed?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 100% more involved than people probably know.
For the record, sorry to, I know I'm kind of interjecting.
No, you're good.
A lot of people don't even know who you are, Hunter. Like, you're kind of a legend in the scene. You've been around for a long time, and I know you're like associated with Complexity, but there's a lot of history there. Do we want to maybe start and just, who are you? Let the viewers know a little bit about you, maybe, and then we can go to your background with Complexity.
Yeah, I mean, I started competing in 2007 in Halo 2.
2007, bro. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, that was when
And you're not sick of it yet.
I followed. Well, I mean, I don't compete anymore, so.
Fair.
But I followed the MLG scene for like all of 2006, and then in 2007 I was like, I'm going to go to one of these events. I texted you, Jen. Sorry, my wife just came in.
Okay.
And then I started going to events in 07. I placed pro my second event I ever went to. That was Dallas 2007. And my first round in pro bracket, I played final boss on main stage.
Wow.
So I got to play like the
Halo 2,
God
07
Squad
final boss.
in Halo 2.
Oh
yeah,
my god, yeah, the actual God Squad in their prime.
The ogres. I had strong side host top rockets on Beaver Creek Slayer, just like making my life miserable. And that's one of the fun things. Like I bring it up all the time. This is like we're just going to go on a huge tangent, but like when people bring up like the greatest players of all time or the greatest teams of all time, as someone like I've played pretty much all of these teams on LAN, like in their peak. Like I played CLG and Halo 5 on LAN at their peak. Like I've played FB in 07. I've played like Instinct and Reach and stuff like I've played all these teams, dude. The thing for me that will always like be burned in my mind, like about Final Boss and why to me they'll always be like the greatest team ever, is we were the 32nd seed going into pro bracket. We were the last seed, hence why we had to play FB round 1. We're playing them on main stage, and I'm sitting on the end of my team, and I hear them like a couple feet away from me yelling call outs, full intensity, giving it 110% passion against a team that they're absolutely rolling. Like they're destroying us. There's like no hope whatsoever, and yet they never were like trolling. They never were just going through the motions. They were like locked in, like it was a championship, because they for them, they wanted to be in that mindset at all times. So it wasn't like they had to eventually lock in against a team they felt like was a threat. They were just like, we're going to always be locked in no matter who we're playing. And then whoever gets in our way, sorry for them. You know what I mean? Like kind of deal. And like, I never forget that, because I was like, dude, these guys are like, they're destroying us. Like they're blowing us out. Like, what is going on? And yet they're taking us seriously every moment of every game. It was nuts.
That's incredible.
You know what I mean? Like there was no laughing. There was no trolling. There was none of that, and like, that to me is why FB will always be crazy. But anyways,
well, it's interesting though, because you brought up CLG as well, because that was something that I always noticed in Snakebite, is that even as they were dominating in the peak of CLG in Halo 5, Snakebite would always mention how they were constantly focused on, like, there was always a learning, even if they're winning, there's always something to learn. They always took everybody very seriously. So I think that was something that he tried to instill in his team. And maybe if anything, it was channeling a little bit of FB back in the day. I don't know if that's where he got it from, but that was something that I always kind of admired in his approach, because they were dominating, but it didn't look like they were relaxed in that process. They were definitely, like you said, taking it very seriously regardless of the level of play.
Yeah. And their commitment to greatness was nuts. So like the way their trajectory went was like, it was like, hey, we want to be, this is like a SparkNotes version, but they were like, hey, we want to be dominating these scrims. They went from like, hey, we want to win these scrims dominantly, to like, hey, we want to like not drop a game in these scrims, which even that is like, okay, that's crazy. And then they went from that to like, hey, we want to win a scrim and like not give up a flag cap or like stake them in all the slayers, or you know what I mean? Like it went to that level where it's like, okay, like
perfect,
just winning the scrim 13-0 isn't enough for you. Now you're not dropping a cap. Are you kidding me? Now you want to stake every, like what? Like but that was the standard, and that's why they were like on the level they were, was they had to still find ways to challenge themselves because they were so dominant. You know what I mean? Like how do you lock in for work? Like when we were just talking about how challenge is part of fun, right? And having just the right amount of challenge. Well, when no one's giving you any challenge ever, how do you
create challenges?
How do you stay locked in? Like how do you? Yeah, exactly. You got to create challenges for yourself, so you stay locked in. So
it's the Michael Jordan mindset too. He would create enemies, right? We touched about this with Mikman too. He would create his own drama basically to like stay locked in. Michael Jordan. Anyway. Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like a huge tangent. But yeah, I basically spent like the first. I mean, I started going to MLG events in 2004, and I pretty much always hung around the top 32 or top 24, and obviously had some more disappointing events there as well. But like never could break into the top 16, like the pro ranks, and then literally it took me 4 years until Reach, like the No Bloom No Sprint event. I teamed with Trey Try, who's now the coach of TSM.
Yep.
One of the best teammate I've ever had, best leader I've ever had on a team. With him on a whim and went from getting top 24 every event to getting 9th with him. So
wow. During what period?
Like that was Reach.
Reach.
Reach MLG, no bloom, no sprint, and then from there just kept staying involved in the scene and competing. And then after that, I pretty much got top 12 in like all the different, all the games after that. So I got top 12 in H2A on LAN, top 12 in Halo 5, top 12 in whatever events were happening. Won some of the MCC Pro Series events when they were doing those throwbacks. That was really fun.
Yeah,
had some good squads for that. And then after that, signed to Complexity in the beginning of Infinite. It was actually me. It was supposed to be me, Neighbor, Commonly, and Hysteria. But we just had such a bad showing in that first, the very, very first qual that we just had to make changes. And so then I eventually signed with Hysteria, Rob the Turtle, and yeah.
Wow. I didn't even know he competed in Infinite because I thought he had like dipped out.
Well, he was like halfway in, halfway out. That was one of the reasons why that team didn't work. He didn't want to. But then after that, it was I decided at this point I'm 33, I'm married, I've got kids and stuff. I decided hey, for me, I didn't really want to pursue necessarily having to compete at that level and be on a scrim schedule and all that. I want to be the best dad I can be and best husband I can be. Those come first and foremost. And so Complexity was just insanely gracious in keeping me on as a creator with them. So I've been working with them. Hey, Godside, I got top 8 at the last LAN I competed in, by the way, just so you know.
Let's go.
The very last LAN I competed, which was like 2 months ago, the H2 throwback event.
Okay.
Anyways,
okay. Nice.
But yeah, so I
the H2, that's what it was. Yeah. You played in the
team,
which was a sick
Eli
event.
And Best Man and Straight Sick. Yeah, we got top 8 that event.
Nasty
That
team.
was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Complexity kept me on as a content creator. And then Nick, our manager, he's been my manager the entire time I've been there. He's kind of brought me in the fold when it comes to to go back to your older point, when it comes to team workings. I wouldn't say so much on the scrim and strategy and stuff side, but when we were putting together a roster, I was very, very involved in terms of hey, these are the players we should be looking at. This is who we should be going after. This is who we should keep. This is who we should maybe consider letting go. So I've been involved in the business sense on that side, which has been really fun. And so isn't it funny how we switched to Lucid Screen and now they're going to lose? We went to Lucid
Are we
Screen
the curse? Or is this the caster curse thing?
And now we're cursing them.
Last shot loses when we watch him. Lucid's doing nasty stuff, though, for the record. He's just doing everything he can. It's not enough, I guess. Yeah, I mean, the way the scrim has been going, though, statistically speaking, it makes sense, I guess, that we caught Lucid on a loss. But what is that, 7-3, I think, for the scrim currently, which we'll talk about a little bit in a second, chat. I hope you guys are vibing and hanging out. I know I can't interact with chat in the way that I normally do, but I hope you guys are okay with that. I'll do my best to kind of jump in here periodically. I know you guys got a million questions coming in here and there, too, so I'm registering it. Not everything I can respond to, but I appreciate all you guys hanging out. And honestly, I'm loving the tangents too, Hunter. I think the chat likes that stuff too. Your history in Halo is crazy extensive, so even just that little tidbit that you gave us, being present and against final boss in their prime up until now, that's incredible, man. You've got to have so many stories. Wouldn't even know where to begin with it, but that was all just to get you to okay, and now you're associated with Complexity, and now we're you might have a bit of an insider scoop on how that team is doing.
Yeah, I mean, we're just so you know, behind the scenes, we are stoked about this roster.
It looks so good on paper. That's why I'm so upset, because
like I said, our ceiling is super high. We just gotta work on raising our floor. When Precision left us for Sentinels, bro, that one hurt so bad, dude. He was one of those people that we were we want to build a whole franchise around this kid. He's so rad. Inside and outside of the game, and
Who's
he's
this,
so
sorry?
marketable. Precision.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah, and so to have Ethan back, we were super pumped about. Obviously with Sparty, we were super bummed about the way that worked out. We had expectations for that London event, and then things fell apart the way they did. And so to have an opportunity to run it back with Sparty, it's kind of for us, in a way, it's a little bit of our greatest hits of players. I would have liked to have seen maybe Ryan Noob still around, but I don't know who I would even
put a lot of work in on that roster.
Replace him with, But it's kind of we've got bits and pieces of some of our favorite lineups that we've had thus far. And so, and this team is like made for LAN, you know. I mean, Precision, I'm not sure if he still is, but like a lot of times he's playing from Hawaii and stuff on like 100+ ping on everything, and you know, we talk about how much of a factor that all is. So it is, you know, we are fired up about the roster, and we know that we're just going to continue to build and improve. So
I like that. So you think that despite how things are going, because I know people love to criticize when a team isn't doing, you know, up to expectations, it sounds like they are still working hard. They are still locked in and kind of dedicated to figuring it out and know that they can, especially on LAN. Make that performance. I imagine, oh my God, are you seeing this at Elusive?
Oof, if he would have hit that, yeah, he's going off.
Hit the body for the third, kept him back. Sorry. Go ahead.
A lot of people that aren't in the scene don't understand like how the pro side works, where it's like you actually work through your issues rather than just freaking calling it and chalking the team. Like that's a very amateur way to go about things, and that's why
it happens a lot in Halo
like,
2 though.
That's why AMs like rarely, you know, make it, is because they don't work through their issues. They just think that they're going to shuffle players around and eventually have a god squad that's going to beat pro teams that are building continuity. It's just not going to happen. So like and on top of that, like with our roster, these guys are all homies, you know. So when you got a squad that like vibes inside and outside of the game, that like makes a huge difference, because then you're rooting for each other. It's not just like who can we blame. It's like, no, like how do we as a team improve and learn from every situation. So
any
no, we love this roster.
Any thoughts coming out of that breaking shot swap though? Because, you know, obviously the players, he's insanely talented. I get why you did it though. This is mental we're talking about, right? It's like how do you turn down mental? But what are your kind of thoughts coming out of that with breaking shot, knowing he's a young player, and you're looking at somebody like a Last Shot and how much he's doing as a young player too. There's definitely a high, you know, stock in these newer players with hidden potential talent.
Yeah, I mean, Breaking Shot's insane. He has been since like year one. 1000% Battle Beast. That's 100% true. Yeah, Breaking Shot's insane. The difference is like when you have the opportunity to team like with a champion. So like, Mental has won lands.
Yes.
That you can't really teach that. You know what I mean? And he's won lands with Ashes. You know, our coach. Yeah. So it's like. There's just something different. Like I said, once you've like been to the top and like
normalized it,
experience that and normalize that, yeah, it's like that's what your expectation is. Like when your expectation is to win at the highest level, it changes the way you approach practice. It changes the way you approach your teammates. It changes the way you like approach everything. You know what I mean? And so and Mental's just been like insane. Like I've matched him a couple times in matchmaking, and it's like it's painful. Like I'm not having fun when he's on the other team, you know.
He's definitely carried it. I mean, if you look at Shopify last year, he's a big component of that, and they maintained top 4 the whole year, right? So I think people often forget that. They're like, oh, who's this Mental guy? But I mean, the guy's not just a winning player in Gears. I think he's proved it at this point on Halo as well.
Yeah, random side note. So Furby's long hair in the chat, who just came through saying, keep up the good work. That was my teammate on my first team I ever made pro bracket with in Halo 2.
That's a sick throwback.
Yeah, so Evo Furby, Evo Gatlin, and I London.
That's awesome.
We went, you know, all the way through losers, from losers round 1 or 2 all the way out of AM. But yeah, like there's lots of young talent
in Halo though, which is sick, man. That's one thing that I you know, not that I'm jealous, but I definitely noticed that with like Eli Mikowski as well, is like just how much history they have together, and all the friends you kind of have along the way. I wasn't around for it, you know, but it's very cool.
Dude, when I got married, like there were so many gamers at my wedding, because there was like dudes that I had like been in the trenches with, dudes that I had like you know grinded out with, that I'd been through so much with. You know, 2 of my groomsmen were my teammates. Like Trey was one of my groomsmen,
That's
and
awesome.
HK Mario was one of my groomsmen as well. And you know, obviously like Straight Sick and Frosty the Truth, those guys were all at my wedding. Like it was a riot. But yeah, you build like these really meaningful relationships. Through, you know, being in the trenches, going to these events, traveling around the country together. It's such a crazy life to have been able to live, you know?
Yeah.
I just look at my childhood and I'm like, dude,
it's a life nobody can live anymore
nuts.
either. Not to that ability, like the extent that you guys had to do it because of the way that technology was and how new all of it was. Like you had to be there. It's like the Melee or the fighting game communities today, where like that's the only kind of area where I find that grassroots, you know, aspect of gaming still sort of persists, where they get together and they, you know, it's not as online dominated, but in general, everything's online now, right? But, you know, just back in the day, the fact that you had to be there with your buddies, had to meet up and split screen or set the CRTs up or whatever it is, like there's something that, you know, the modern generation is just never going to get. And, yeah, we could say we're lucky that we got to experience what we did, despite the fact that it might be over.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it's over. Like, I mean, you and I made memories at the last event.
That's true.
You know,
yeah, you're
I mean?
right.
Like,
that's true. That's true.
It's
not
still
quite the same as what you've experienced, but you're right. Like every time I get to go, it reminds me why I'm here. You know, it reminds me why I do what I do for sure. Yeah.
As I've gotten older, like it's one of those things where I just don't take it for granted anymore. Like, because I don't know. Like, I've lived through seasons where Halo was thriving and popping, and these events were massive, and then I've lived through seasons where we didn't have events. You know what I mean? And so
Halo
to have
4,
anything, I'm just like, well, I mean, even Halo 4, we still had like
stuff,
you know, AGL that we were going to and whatnot. But like, you know, think about COVID and whatnot, where we didn't have events for a while.
Right. That was rough.
How many times we've been stuck online, or like, you know, Reach, you know, we had the No Bloom, No Sprint event. We get all excited. We're going to have all this momentum. And then Halo's off the circuit, you know, and it was like, it wasn't until Halo 4 that it was, you know, even around. And even then it was gone again. So like, just to have events consistently, like I always say, man, shout out to the HCS team and Tashi and all of them for everything they do, because like, it's not guaranteed, you know.
Yep.
So
I'm hoping it continues. We're in unknown territory right now, or uncharted territory, right? It's like 4 years of the same game with esports coverage, and I guess if Tashi's saying if there's popularity, like who knows what could happen, but yeah, like you said, don't take it for granted. Lucid's playing pretty nasty here, Hunter.
Yeah, let's lock in a little bit for round. So first round they won pretty handedly. From the looks of it, it looks like Slay's just heavily in the not heavily in the favor, but Slay's in the favor of SSG in that first round. Oh, the shots, dude.
He's not
one of the things that you got to realize about this SSG team is like, I don't care what anybody says, like they're just as talented as like an Optic roster. They're just as talented as a Shopify roster. Snakebite, you know, I feel like a broken record at this point. He's one of those players where whatever the situation calls for, he can do exactly that.
Versatile.
And I also don't think people realize, because he's so soft-spoken, not out there, like how motivated Eco is at all times. Like he always is finding a way to win at the highest level. I don't know if you remember this or if you were around for this, Shy, but when Halo was first coming to PC, when we had MCC on PC, and the games were coming out one at a time. You remember this? Like it was like I think
it started with Halo.
One that came out.
It was Halo 3 2019, right? And then it was Reach in 2020 before the COVID, which would happen.
Yeah. Whatever the order was. When Reach came out, they were doing like MCC Fridays, where every Friday they were throwing like a 10K event. And they were inviting like huge content creators. They were inviting like pros and content creators and different types of people.
Like Twitch Rivals or something like that? Maybe?
It was pre-Rivals. I forget what it was called. It was called something. But anyways, so I got invited to a couple of them, and one of the 10Ks was a 10K Halo Reach on MCC PC Action Sack tournament.
Okay.
Right? So, and they were like, you're just getting drafted into random teams. I got drafted to Eco's team. So Eco was our captain. I was one of the players on the team. We also had a famous soccer star on our team,
Content
and then we had and then we had Legion. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yes,
Legion
I know who Legion
or
is.
whatever.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, so that was our team. So it was for an Action Sack Reach event for 10K, and Eco's the captain. I kid you not, before the event even started, Eco was like, meet your streams, and he like invited us onto a lobby, and he was like, I have the game types here, and he was like, we're breaking down strats for every game type. We had strats for every Griffball map, for the soccer map, and we won that event. Like we won the 10K, and I mean it was every team, you know, had like great players and whatever, but it was like, that's the level of like motivated this dude is, like to win everything. It didn't even matter if it was an Action Sack tournament. He found the game types, loaded them up, and got us into custom. And like for the first hour or two before the tournament even started, we were going over like formations and stuff for Griffball. Like I'm not kidding. This SSG team, I like I said, I do see them winning. And you know, when we talk about like teams being angry, and Shopify, obviously, I mean, have you seen Lucid lately? Like the dude he's on a revenge tour as well.
He's
definitely not stoked about things. You know what I mean?
Oh no, of course not. I mean, it'd be difficult to come out of Optic, especially when you were sort of the centerpiece. Like I'll be honest, you know, Formal obviously 100%. Is Optic, but as far as like Lucid's grind, his dedication to the game, and the content that he created, like he really, you know, took that platform and did as much as he could with it, and generated a large fan base. that supported him. So I think it's not even just the fact of like how the team split up, but the fact that he's just not associated with Optic anymore. That's like got to be a difficult adjustment to make. So I can empathize and understand that this guy's, he's out for blood a little bit too.
Yeah,
and I think that could be a good thing. I think, all challenges can make us better, right? I think that could force Lucid to adapt the way that he plays in a way that he's never had to, and to approach, kind of his mindset. He's had to take maybe a deeper look at himself, a little bit. I know a lot of people have criticisms of like, how he complains or whatever, like how he kind of approaches Halo, finding a new reason to sort of fall in love with the improvement and the challenges that come his way. Like he could maybe he could bloom into a totally different player, is what I'm kind of looking for.
I think the reality is, like, if it was anybody other than Formal, Lucid would still be on that team. Formal is like the golden boy of Optic. Like he's like Hex's adopted son, basically. Like he's he's a huge part of their franchise. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like, so I don't think it was so much like a gosh, I'm spacing my words because I'm so freaking hungry. I don't think it was like a mandate against Lucid as much as it was like just a validation of how much Formal means to Hex, and the fact that Hex would rebuild the entire roster around what Formal wants and stuff. Like, I think that's like that. That's a huge. That's the only piece that really matters. However, on Lucid side, it's like you were on the org in Optic where it's like you're set for life when you get on Optic.
Pretty much.
And so that's a huge blow to obviously not be on Optic anymore. Obviously, SSG has taken really good care of him, but I mean, Optic is a worldwide international.
It's like the
brand,
Lakers. Chad was saying it's like the Lakers or something like that.
Yeah, it's like Luka to the Lakers.
It's like the Lakers of Halo.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Lucid, I definitely see big things out of him this year, and dude, those matches. I get like chills thinking about it, bro. Like those Optic versus SSG, or
they haven't even fought yet. They haven't properly faced off yet, which is
Shopify
cool.
versus like SSG, or Shopify versus Optic on LAN are going to be insane, bro. Like the energy is going to be ridiculous.
So sick.
There's so many good storylines this year.
We're eating good as fans. I know a lot of people are upset. Like there are a lot of dedicated Lucid fans as well who are unhappy with the way that Optic split. Now they're Formal enemies too, which is good for the esport too, honestly, right? Like there's people who are like, they dislike Formal now. They don't think that it was fair the way that he, split up the team. So you've got, I think a good esport has, a large fan base for different players, and then haters as well. A little bit of back and forth, not too toxic, but I just think there's a nice balance of dialogue that's going down with it's not being too Optic heavy. I feel like last year and the previous years, it was more Optic than anything. Like people have their fan bases, but Optic dominated a lot of attention. Now that is split. Now you still have your green wall, but there are large audiences that are going to be for SSG now. And for Shopify,
SSG had a massive come up.
They definitely did in the last year.
Huge come up,
because they won so much as well. I mean, how could you not be a fan? They earned their status for sure, but I think even more so now. But yeah, I love what you, just to kind of double back though, what you said about Eco and what he brings to the team is a great insight that I didn't fully consider, because we never see that side of Eco. So it's really cool to know
he's a killer, dude. Like,
the mastermind component outside the game. Yeah.
Being on his team, I would say, like, being on his team is one of those things where it's not going to be fun all the time. But at the end of the day, why he is the way he is. Like, it's not going to be fun because he's trying to set up his team in a way that can win championships. And there's a reason he's the oldest pro active right now.
He is.
And there's a reason he's been able to last as long as he has. I think he's 31 or 32.
32 this year.
Yeah, and like, I mean, you don't stick around as long as he has without being somewhat like neurotic about the way the game needs to be played and how you win. So.
I'm curious what you think that means as far as the composition of this team, because I feel like that's something that's kind of criticized the most. Like, I agree with you in that their ceiling is extremely high. I'm also not surprised that it's taken them a little bit longer to build the chemistry. Online connection aside, I'm sure that doesn't help them as well. But their composition as a team is a little odd in comparison to what seems to be the meta, So where do you think that things kind of balance out? Like, what roles do you think these players are finding themselves in? I assume Eco continues to be that kind of mastermind individual for the team, but you've got Lucid, you got Snakebite. These are very intelligent, very well spoken.
Stellar.
You got, Stellar as well. He gets left out a lot. He gets left. It's also like, because he's such a good shooter.
Stack these teams on paper. You just look at these teams. You're like, what is that lineup? Like,
it's a wild lineup, bro. Yeah.
How do you get that many? Like, there are so many great players currently in the scene right now. Like, it is like don't get me wrong. Like, the scene isn't as big as it once was. Whatever. Like, when it comes to like the level of play, like, you could stack this time period in Halo up with any time period of Halo ever in terms of like how closely, like I think it's probably the most competitive era of Halo ever. Like you've never seen year 4 of a Halo,
100%.
you know, on a circuit. Like that alone means that we're seeing the highest level of Halo be played ever, you know. So and like as someone who's like strictly gets to be a fan of the game now, like I don't have to worry about competing against people, so I can actually like just give people their flowers and stuff. Like I've never been more excited to watch like a season of Halo. There's never been a crazier off season ever. Oh my gosh, Lucid, like eagle eye there on the cycle. So yeah, and like, you know, like you said, there's so many big names that like we're at the point where we're overlooking Stellar on a roster, like you know. And
I'll
like,
elaborate.
Stellar is in that class to me where it's like there's a certain class of Halo players where on any given day of the week you can tell me that's the best player in the whole game, and I'm like, yeah, you're no debate there for me. You know what I mean? He's in that class, you know.
You're right in that's like a different class. I don't know if you've been watching like Solo Leveling, which is an anime, but there's like S tier. Here, anyway, he's in his own category where you're right. Like there's moments where he's the best in the world. Lucid is in that category. Renegade's in that category. Like there's certain players that kind of take that role. Super interesting though. Just real quick with chat. Thank you so much for the $10.
Hey,
wait,
let's go.
Where is it? No, I have to like go back and. Bro Fluke, thank you, brother. No problem. And glad to be streaming Scrims. Welcome, guys. This is Hunter JJX. So it should be in the YouTube title. You can click to his YouTube channel, I believe. It should be linked like in the YouTube title. So make sure you're watching or reading the full title. I'll start maybe putting their faces on the thumbnails. But if you're on the YouTube chat, it's Hunter JJX. He's a longtime Halo competitor, all the way back in 2007. I'm just learning here. He's played Final Boss. He's played some of the best players in the world. You got an extensive history, Hunter, which is super cool. But sorry, just to elaborate on what I was saying, I did leave Stellar out of the equation. I was thinking more on like, you know, when you've got a team that has so many, you know, leadership type individuals, how do you think that's going to mix, I guess, and who do you think is going to have what sort of role, or is that an outdated term to say that specific players are going to have specific roles within their team?
It's 100% outdated. It's been outdated for a long time. I mean, I would almost like listen to Optics comms and tell me there's an IGL. There's no IGL on that team. Listen to SSG
Not formal?
play. There's no
Optic
no IGL.
UAV? No.
The way it works, like, because let's say you have an IGL like in a traditional sense, like he only has so much information based on his whole screen on what's happening. And yeah, there's some people that are amazing at like leading the troops and whatever, but the key piece is to be a roster that all 4 players are contributing to that information. All 4 players are contributing to the problem solving of what needs to happen in any given scenario. And even better is when you get like-minded individuals, because then they're all they're coming to the same conclusions without even having to say it. You know what I mean? So like I think it was Snakebite recently I heard say like, no, like at the highest level there's no such thing as an IGL, because you need all 4 perspectives equally feeding into what's happening and what needs to happen on the map, rather than one person with his own limited perspective of everything that's happening on the map. Granted, you know, like Eco has a very good game sense. Like he has a really great big picture view of the map and what's happening, but still is only limited to, you know, what information he can gather, right? Whereas if you have 4 people all, like I said, all contributing and whatnot, like Optic, when I'm listening to their comms, that stuff is going a million miles an hour.
Their
like
comms
all
are
the players adding
fast.
in like what's happening and what's going on, and you know, so I for a team like SSG, I think what the advantage they have is like all the players on their team are so flexible, dude. Like they're I mean, yeah, you're gonna, and then not to mention like on top of the flexibility, you have like Lucid or Stellar at any moment can go off and be the best player and like, you know, alter the state of the game, and then all you have to do is capitalize on that game state. You know, if you're the other 3 people, you acknowledge like, oh my gosh, like he just made a god play. Like we just need to fill in the gaps here, here, and here. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at any given moment, it could be a number of players, so it's like less pressure than like if you were on a team like, you know, for example, Last Shot. Like last season, he was coming up. I'm not talking about his time on Pure. That was different. But like when he was coming up on his AM teams, like he was having to do the absolute most. You know what I mean? To will his team to victories, like prior to having players that are also on the level, you know, on his squad. So
correct.
Yeah.
So the key to success is being
leader.
versatile, is what you're saying. There's no more set roles anymore. I will say, though, like even listening to, let's say, SSG's comms from last year versus, I haven't listened to him now because they got muted all the time, so it's hard to know. Eco, there was moments where he would actually call the play, though. He would he would stop, he'd tell him to slow down. He would tell him to like collectively do things as a team at certain points in the game.
Yeah, totally.
So I feel like he would still lean into that position. Maybe like Frosty was someone who stood out in that regard with FaZe, especially later. Like maybe Snakebite, did that a little bit more early on. I felt like with FaZe specifically, Frosty was trying to play call a little bit more than anybody else. Is that?
Aren't there specific roles like oddball characters? Sorry, finish the question.
Oddball No, I think we're all kind of on the same wavelength in that. And I think what he's saying in regards to the oddball thing and what you've been mentioning is that you adapt to your circumstances. Like the oddball carrier is whoever needs to be it in the moment and in the game, essentially.
Timing is so important.
Oh,
so,
no,
like,
look at this. 99 to 97.
No way.
Oh, are you kidding?
Wow, they just finagled that one and snuck away there at the last second. We need to lock in for one of these games, but I just want to finish this conversation because it's a great
good combo. Yeah.
Like the best players mold themselves to whatever the moment calls for. Like if you kill a guy and a sniper rifle, he has a sniper and it drops right on you, you gotta be ready to grab that weapon and get 2-3 kills with it, hit your shots, like do the damage, open up the map for your teammates. Like you can't sit there grabbing sniper and being like looking for your guy that you're going to go drop snipe to. I'm not the main slayer, I got to give this way. Like you can't do it at the highest level, because at the highest level timing is everything, and every second wasted is like an opportunity for the other team to be like taking ground on the map, taking space,
imagine carrying the ball to the designated ball carrier. Like
exactly,
I got balls like bro,
exactly.
like forfeiting the perimeter on the map and like just try. Yeah, it would definitely screw up the whole game. Yeah.
Or like sometimes you'll see like you'll see top players like, I have sniper, I just killed the ball guy right in front of me, I'm grabbing the ball for a split second, I'm looking for my teammate who's coming, then I'll throw it to him, and then I'll go back to sniping. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like you can't waste a moment, you know? And also too, like, what are we on, King of the Hill or Strongholds here?
I think it's Stronghold. I actually don't even know.
Also, okay, so I think it's King, but if it was Strongholds, like, or it actually is going to make sense in King here as well. Like, you at a high level of Halo, you have a different role on the map depending on which spawner you are. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize that. Like if you're the first guy coming off spawn, you can't just be going for the hill or going for the stronghold. You got to take space in the map. If you're the second player, you have to be supporting that first guy and taking ground, getting presence on the map. If you're the third guy, then you can cap, then you can maybe start scoring. Fourth guy is then just playing flex and trying to like support whatever is already happening on the map, right? So like understanding that your role changes depending on who you are in the spawn cycle, depending on where you are at the moment. Like, so like if you're locked into I'm the slayer, I'm only going to slay, you're like basically cutting your game in half in terms of the impact you can have on the map. Of course, you know what I mean. So like all these things have to be factored in. That was crazy. The grapple just like
what was that?
Flung the shock.
Yeah, maybe like an accidental cancel or something, but he still caught it because it had momentum. That's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, what you're saying is so valid, though, in that, like you said, yeah, like depending on when you spawn, you've got a specific role you got to play. Like limiting yourself by forcing yourself to play within a certain role throughout the game is going to hurt the team. It's going to hurt the flow of the game. It's going to affect your timing. Like you're screwed. That said, though, I guess in general, like Renegade is going to go for sniper off the opening strat more often than not, though, I guess, right? Like there's certain situations where it's like, okay, let me grab sniper, this time or something. I guess that's maybe decided amongst
I mean, opening strats is like, is its own thing. I guess. Does he grab snipe over Formal and
recently? Renegade's been getting snipe a lot. I think like
cool.
And I mean he's deadly with it, so I get it. But it honestly, I wouldn't say that he's designated. Like it definitely is mixy between just about anybody. Everybody gets a turn, and they can all perform, which is what you're saying is you have to be able to, or good luck winning at this point. So knowing your role off spawn, that's a good topic though. Ryan knew, by the way. If you guys aren't aware, Ryan Noob is excellent for that in his Behind the Curl series. Have you seen that, Hunter?
I haven't, but I need to. I mean, he's literally one of my favorite Halo minds ever. Like talking with him about the game, he says so many things that that to me were not what I was expecting. You know what I mean? Like it's
a different read on the situation than you thought.
There was one time we were watching a LAN series. It was Optic versus I think it was Optic versus SSG, and Lucid in the specific game we were watching. It was at an event. Lucid in the game went like 38 and 20 something. He was like plus like 18 or something, plus 18 in the game, and they lost the oddball game. And I looked at Ryan and I was like, yo, like, was he just being inefficient? Like, what's the deal here? Like, how do you go that positive and lose that game? Like, I feel like maybe he should have switched it up a little bit. And Ryan was like, nope, no. He went 38 and 20, whatever. Nope, they should have won that game. His teammates let him down. That's not his fault at all. I was just like, all right. He was like, if your teammate's getting that many kills and going that positive, you got to win that game. I don't care. It's not his job.
It's good to hear that from a pro. Like, very straightforward.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
and I was like, okay, cool. Like, all right, bet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I was trying to go deep into it. Like, was he being inefficient? Was he getting the wrong kills on the map? Like, you know, like all these old adages.
That's
and
kind of
Ryan was
valid.
like, nope, they needed to win that game.
but now your matchmaking kids are going to get reinforced and being assholes, though. Like, what you just empowered all the matchmaking kids who get the kills and blame their teammates is what you've done.
Hey, I didn't do it. Ryan
kills.
did it. Yeah. Ryan did it. You know what I mean? I didn't do it. But yeah, I was like, damn, all right, like, bet. You know what I mean? Like,
in Lucid's case,
Ryan
in a pro case,
mind.
then absolutely. You know what I mean? Maybe in matchmaking at platinum or diamond level, even if you're getting kills, you're probably missing some things too. But who knows? Anyway,
I love
so
this setup. So on recharge, where, in your opinion, what's the most important position to hold?
The silo area above
King
him.
or strongholds?
And the most important position would be like the anchor relative to the hill, I would say. So the guy directly above him is in, and Stellar are in very important positions because they anchor the spawns in this area. That gold is a good place to have, but only after you've got these complementary C locations where Snakebite's hiding, I would say, for this hill. What do you think?
No, I mean, that's great. I'm not going to disagree. I think, for me personally, I think red. I think you have to have red for pretty much every single hill in this game.
Yes, you do. Red complements every single hill, but it's not the first place that you need to control. Yeah, exactly. It's always the fill in to create the setup. So if your team is dying in C and you're in gold, you have to leave gold. You got to go through long. You got to refill C and get back that anchor next to the hill so that your teammate's spawning ideally behind you in gold, refill gold, and then you got the position.
Yeah.
So it's always about keeping the spawn where you want it, and then gold complements every setup. Maybe in bottom mid you can argue it doesn't, right? The bottom mid hill, I've seen people say, let's control A and C and spawn the enemy in pipes or gold because you don't have a direct angle on bottom mid, even though I like having C and gold, personally, for the bottom mid hill. But I've seen, like, Druck, and when I play with him sometimes, like, he'll control A, and, like, you just kind of adapt to the situation, let them spawn pipes.
Yeah, I think, like, I think adapt is the key word there. I think you got to be fluid for whatever the, like, a lot of the times, what you're going to get on the map in a Halo match is what the other team's going to give you. Mm-hmm. So it's like, how do I maximize my effectiveness on the map based on what the other team is giving me? Like, if they're giving me red, like, I'm not going to be too upset about that. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Because you can launch so many offensives to different areas of the map from red without getting crossed from all over the map. You know, whereas like
best place of the
if
map.
If you're coming out of C, dude, like it can be frustrating. If you're coming out of A, it can be frustrating depending on the you know where the other team is set up at.
Yeah.
You can cut angles, and so yeah, both can definitely work. You just got to understand how to utilize it depending on what's happening on the map.
Yeah. All said. But yeah, now that they've like lost access to A, you can see how like they completely slowed it down in advance, and then everything's about to set up around this next hill. Is it 8-3? I haven't updated it. It might be even farther in, to be honest.
But again, every loss is a lesson. I think like SSG took a really long time off when you think about it. Like, they announced their team
interestingly
really late, you know, like they weren't playing in any of the preseason cups. I think, did they play in the very, very last one, if that? Like, not to mention, like, I'm not like, I feel like it's a tale as old as time, but I gotta tell people every time, like, to not take scrim scores as like gospel, you know.
That's fact.
The teams are focusing on so much more than winning or losing the game in the scrim than it really doesn't matter much to them whether or not they're winning or losing the game. They're looking at the micro plays, they're looking at, like, they're building chemistry, and like I said, every loss is a lesson. So like with SSG losing, like, they're learning every single time they lose a game or lose a scenario or anything like that. Ooh, nice stick there.
That was beautiful. Wow. And that's all just on like knowing where to anticipate the fight and throwing that shit in advance. Ends up being perfect.
I feel like casual Halo fans a lot of the times, like, not trying to be mean or anything, like, they look at scrims or they look at these online cups and they just start freaking out like the sky is falling, or they need to make a roster change, or
that definitely
you know what I mean? Like, no one needs to make a roster change over an online win or loss, like, period.
But if a team is consistently getting slammed in scrims, I do think it is somewhat indicative of like what to expect going. It does, you know, it skews my prediction. If SSG, they're looking better, by the way, in this scrim, I think, just based off what I'm seeing, because everything's by like a hair if they do lose.
Yeah.
But if they're continually getting slammed, then I'm going to put them in a little bit lower than SR and Optic, let's say, coming into my predictions for the season, you know? So it does skew my expectations, but people, they see it as like the sky is falling. You know, it's like end the freaking roster,
you gotta breach
nuke it.
contracts and freaking like trade people, and it's like, dude, like,
right?
There's a whole business side that you're just completely like negating, and B, like I said, LAN is everything you're building is for LAN, so breaking it up before LAN is kind of pointless. And every time you make a roster change, you're not taking steps forward. You're having to rebuild.
Right. You're resetting.
Most of the time you're making lateral moves. Like building a roster like Optic off of a roster change is not the norm. That does not normally happen. You know what I mean? So
right.
A lot of times with these pros, and especially with the AMs, they're making lateral moves instead of like building towards something and improving. You know what I mean?
Correct. How do we maintain at the very least so we can keep building off of like you said, move laterally. Jeez, it's a perfect way of looking at it.
Like I look at this is an interesting example, and I don't know if most people agree with me, but like I look at like Uzi and Zuzi, the twins.
Yeah, who have been kind of cracked. Like they've always been good for the record, because I remember back in Raleigh they were nasty, but recently
they've always been really good individually.
Recently they're getting way better, right?
Yeah, and they haven't necessarily like placed. They're not pros. They haven't like placed or anything like that, but they've improved year in and year out because they've literally stayed with the same people. They're the only AMs I can think of that have like gone out of their way to be like, we're gonna make a roster and keep it, and we're just gonna like improve little by little by little. And like, yeah, it's been little by little by little, but eventually when they break in, they're just gonna be there because they're gonna have the continuity to have been there. Yeah, and like there's no doubt in my mind they keep on the path they're on. Like they're gonna have their moment. I don't know if it'll be an infinite or what the plan is for the future, but like they've gone from getting like top 64 to getting top 48 to top 32 to literally top 20. And so I think they got
top
like
16 last weekend
or top 16 last weekend.
They lost to C9, but did you see him beat Gunny's team? That was the matchup.
I saw him beat Gunny's team. Yeah,
I mean,
and it's like they wouldn't have beat Gunny's team last year. Like, you know what I mean? But they've like consistently worked at it and like gotten better and better and better and better. So it's like, you don't want to always just be making these lateral moves. You got to stick together. You got to work through some of the hard times in order to really improve.
I mean, maybe that like they have the benefit of being brothers, I guess, right? Are they twins? Well,
they're brothers, but Dark Matter, the third, they've been with him for like 2 years.
Oh, okay. So they've really found a solid third, like you're saying.
And they had Reverb for over a year, and they just only recently, I think Reverb stepped away, so they got Hative or whatever, who's also a really talented player. So it's like, but the three of them, the twins and Dark Matter, have been together for 2 years.
Wow.
Plus, and for AMs, that's like unheard of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you definitely want to see that for progress. And that was one of the biggest things that Mikwin brought up with like Last Shot's come up. Like obviously Last Shot is an insane, like one of a kind level of talent, but something that he showcased that allowed him to, catch a lot of eyes was he showed clear improvement on a dedicated roster for like 3 or 4 events back to back with the same team during the first or second year of Infinite or something. Yeah, he played with the same team. And obviously he's pulling his weight individually, and then some, which allowed him to shine, but they showed improvement. They were getting higher and higher placings, and that's what kind of caught the attention. So I think that was the big thing, is that consistency, like you said. And you could say the counter argument for players like, for example, why is Gunny not getting that shot? We've had that conversation a lot of times. The only thing that holds him back, I think, is just the consistency with the same players and showing improvement.
Dude, I tell him every time, dude, like instead of looking for like a shot, quote unquote, like build it yourself. Like, if they're not going to open the door for you, kick the door down.
Kick it down. I mean, he's the exact type of person to do that.
Yeah, like put together the roster and just freaking go to work. You know what I mean? And so like I was actually really excited that he put together his own roster last weekend with his friends. And yeah, they didn't have the greatest first showing, but
very close.
They're scrimming with the same team and they were right there. And it's like, okay, now build on this. Like, don't just throw it aside. And build on this and continue to improve. So.
Yeah, I mean, easier said than done. It's easy to be on the sidelines.
Twitter's always like, Gunny needs a shot. Gunny, and I love Gunny. I'm probably the biggest Gunny.
A lot of dedicated fans for good reason, but they don't understand
and it's like
the intricacies.
But like a shot is not how it works. Like a lot of the times you have to work it your own self, dude. You got to make it so like you're undeniable. You got to make it so they can't keep you out.
Yeah.
So
and just focus on that and not the whether or not it's we got to stroke each other's. Whatever he's saying, yeah. But anyway, I think he's on the right track though, because that if like a couple different decisions were made against was it Uzi and how do I say their names?
They were up. They were up 3-0 on Aqua Flag.
They were about to win that Aqua Flag. They win that. That was they get to play C9, and then we're talking. We're in the mix now. So they were very close. It was cool to see.
Nitro Snow, like I don't know what you mean. Like you're gonna give someone a shot on a top team based on their personality? That makes 0 sense. Or their following? That makes 0 sense. Like you get like the only people that get shots are like I said, people where they're doing stuff where it's like undeniable. Like when you look at what Last Shot was doing, when you look at what Cycle was doing, all these other guys. The rest of them, it's like pros that are, you at least know what you're getting. You at least know they're battle tested. Like I've always said, like as soon as Gunny gets that first like top 12, top 8 placing on LAN, like he'll be in, because at that point it'll be like, okay, cool. Like it's not just him being good in matchmaking or whatever. Like he's now shown that he can do it at the highest level and win games. And like at the end of the day, you gotta be able to play winning Halo. And I tell Gunny, I'm like, I've seen you put up such amazing numbers in so many different series that you lost, and that
correct.
It shows for nothing. Like you got to be able to play winning Halo. So
I'm
always rooting for him, and I think he'll get there. It's just a matter of time.
Too. Yeah, there was only one thing that I kind of watching them play and listening to their comms that I felt watching Gunny was there were moments where things weren't going well, and I could tell in their comms like Gunny sounded pretty stressed. Like obviously he's got. He wants him to win, so he's got high expectations. But like, if I'm his teammate, I don't know if that would motivate me or if it would check me a little bit. I feel like that might be a tricky thing with chemistry, is like finding a teammate who's bringing the best out of you. And he's a big personality, and I think that personality can motivate and make you very confident, or it might have the opposite impact. Well,
you got to realize, like with Gunny, like it's year 4 of Infinite, and like he wants it. I would say he wants it just as much as the top players, if not more. Like, and so. Every time like a tournament or something comes around, like he wants it so bad that I think it's almost working against him in a sense, where you're
forcing
let it come
it,
to you,
and exactly. You're not. It's not attraction. That's a whole. This is like a life thing, bro. You're gonna make me form a huge tangent. Last Shot's energy, it's not just his ability. His energy as a person, as a player, it's attraction energy. He's drawing success to him by just being effortlessly, like having a fun time playing the game and being nasty and being vibey. Like he's drawing his reality. It's coming at him quickly, and I think that, there's something beautiful about that. And Mikwin did a good job kind of talking about that the other day too, is, the longer you've been in it, the more your expectations increase, the older you get as well, the harder it is to just be that kid, who's got all the time on their hands, who's just vibey, who's just having fun, who's just, attracting that success to them. This works in relationships. This is like my God, that's a crazy play.
Nasty there.
Yeah, that
the angles too, like the crack shots. Yeah, dude.
Angle into the pre-nade. Oh my God. Anyway, Aura. It's Aura, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not to say like Gunny doesn't have Aura, because
he does. He absolutely does.
Massive Aura.
I'm saying it's a balancing
but whether or not,
war.
And Aura is different when you're trying to be a competitor versus trying to be a streamer, content creator. Like,
Correct.
He could have gone and been. He could have been a millionaire streamer in like any other franchise if he wanted to at this point. You know what I mean?
Potentially, yeah.
But he wants to be a competitor. And it's always interesting because Frosty the Truth, my biggest mentor coming up in the scene, always told me like, you can't be an amazing competitor and an amazing streamer. It's impossible. And I always used to be like, no, I can do it. Well, until I got older, I realized like he's so right, dude. Like you can't be like a top streamer and a top.
What about Ninja?
Top competitor. Like, I mean, Ninja wasn't a top streamer when he was a top competitor.
He wasn't Halo though. He's a top Halo streamer, and he was up there. But yeah, you're like eventually one pulled more than the other. The streaming pulled him away from the competing. Is the inevitability, right? Mm.
Ooh, Lockhart. Question for both. What's your personal dream team? Alex, I'll let you go first. What's your personal dream team if you could put together any roster?
I don't know, bro. I hate these questions. Like Optic is pretty damn close at the moment. They're pretty much a dream team at the moment. I think I'd maybe throw Shotzzy into a team, because I feel like peak Shotzzy is the one of, if not the best Halo player I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, so
the best Halo talent we've ever seen.
I think so. It's crazy you're saying that too. Mikwin said it playing against him, that he's like the best player he's ever played against.
This is not like greatest Halo player of all time. This is just strictly the best Halo player you've ever seen. It's Shotzzy 10 times.
In his peak in Halo 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So I put Shotzzy on something, and maybe honestly the current. I don't know. Is this like a, like I'm a huge Formal fan, but I wonder what it would be like to see Bound, Shotzzy, Renegade, and Legend on a team. Like, bro, holy crap.
The speed would be
would be insane. Like the speed of play, the ego, that team's perfect the way it is. I'm just saying, like, wow, they're all the same like play style of players. Would be nuts. So
okay, so I'm gonna go Snakebite as captain, first and foremost.
Okay, cool. I feel like Snakebite doesn't get his flowers as much, so it's cool that you're saying that.
I'm going Legend for sure on there. The thing is, like, I naturally would really want to put Renegade on there, but I have to think about the way the players are together. And Snakebite, Renegade experiment, we already saw the way that went. So
interesting.
I'm not going to put Renegade on the roster. I'm going to go Snakebite, Legend. I'm going to say Bound. I'm going to put Bound on there for sure. Snakebite, Legend, Bound, and let me think.
These guys are a package deal now, huh? Legend, Bound. They become
Snakebite, Legend, Bound, and Lucid, I think, dude. That's the roster I'm going
Lucid.
with. Yeah.
I mean, that's a deadly team.
I've just seen Lucid take over too many times on LAN at this point, where it's like you're watching him and you're like, yeah, he's playing perfect Halo right now. Like, good luck. You know what I mean?
He's been lights out this scrim. I feel like it's working out. I don't know. I think every time I watch these two scrim, yes, the score in the scrims might be, SR dominant for the most part, but these games are dangerously close, man.
Yeah.
I think we're starting to see
I
that
agree,
reality.
man. Like, Lucid and Legend together would be insane.
Lucid and Legend, yeah. It's hard to imagine it till it happens, but
how do you feel about Bomb,
it wouldn't be.
Alex?
I think it's passable on Aqua. Like, on Fortress, at the moment, it needs to change. It can't continue. I mean, it can't continue the way it is.
There's no saving that game.
Well, no. So you could have Fortress Bomb, but you would have to change something about you would have to, like, change the size of the plant area or something, or change the speed at which you can plant, change the spawns on the map or something. Like, it just, in its current state, I just don't see how, unless we suddenly figure out something that makes it more efficient to play, I don't see how it works. Because you saw Grand Finals. I mean, I'm like, I was killing myself casting that in a reset, like trying to give it my energy for attempt number 35 at 0-0.
Yeah.
Like it's 40 minutes in, is he gonna play it now? Like, bro.
More than like the act of like playing the game type, the act of watching it is just so.
It's not even fun to watch. Yeah, it's just
like I said, the fact that I'm now just like this, like I'm so much more on the content side, and I'm more of a competitive enjoyer and watcher. Like you notice these things, you notice the things that just like wreck the momentum of a series. Like you have these first two lit games, dude. Like it's looking like it's gonna be a good series. Then Fortress Bombs comes in and it's like just derails all of the momentum. You know what I mean? Immediately.
Exactly.
So yeah,
how do you build a storyline out of that? It's like, let's hammer the base and try and fail. Hammer the base and try and fail. There's no progress being created for the entire game until maybe the last second if somebody gets lucky. Like a good game is one that builds to a crescendo, right? So all the other game types have a better way of doing that. But this one doesn't feel like it. This one, it's like maybe you squeak out an explosion, here and there. Aqua is a little bit more of a back and forth though, right? So I feel like it's more passable in its state, but
I don't mind Aqua. I just think like the spawns are really easy to read, obviously, but the biggest issue I have with Bomb and Infinite is like in past Halo games, when you planted the bomb, it killed everybody that was in that base planting it. So like you had to reset your control, whereas now like you can plant it and literally maintain control, no penalty whatsoever, and have to replant it. Oh, nice.
That was sick. He hits the clamber skip, and then like he's ready to react and shoot him down as he goes up to the P
He has options for top or bottom right there, depending on what he needs.
He did it perfectly. Yeah.
So good.
That was sick. Seeing nerdy stuff like that out of Lucid definitely, shows me his capacity as a player, and that like regardless of, like SSG and your thoughts on their composition, whether he's fast enough or whatever it is, it's like, nah, he's gonna be okay. Like this guy knows he knows ball, So, but yeah, I agree with you. The explosion radius, there's some things in this game that this game type that I wish were fixed and changed, and I don't know if that's possible. Right? It was made in Forge.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's all fixable and what's not, but it's fine. I mean, Aqua's good. I saw people bring up Bazaar, and it's like I miss Bazaar as much as the next person, but I think Bazaar bomb would be terrible. Once you got the bomb in the base, you couldn't stop it. Like think about like where would you stop?
Yeah,
the bomb
imagine
army from?
spawning front, like courtyard or
Yeah,
some shit.
spawning court or spawning like on
There's
the
no
on the
chance.
alley on the side. Or,
Good luck,
like,
you got a terrible
You have
angle.
no angles in there to disarm that thing, like or to stop that.
It's just guaranteed.
You know, it's just like all you gotta do is get it into the base, and you guarantee you get the arm.
Yeah, that would ruin.
I would love to see like Bazaar flag back though. Like, but obviously that ship has sailed, but. Bizarre. We had some game types that like we never got to see with Bandit Evos and
correct
without the weapon nerfs and without the GAs and all that stuff. So, but I am overall like pretty happy with the pool, the map pool now. Like I think Kali is a great addition to this game.
Really, you like
plays
it?
so well in this game, and you get those like those cool flashy plays and whatnot. But there's like good variety. It just yeah. I think we're in a position where it could be better, but it could be way worse as well. I think it's fine. Minus Fortress Bomb.
I agree with you. It could be better, could be worse, definitely. I guess I think the big thing with Bazaar is it's not just retrying a map that might have worked in the past. Like it's the stability of those dev maps that I miss. They just play. They're smoother. People aren't complaining on Xbox. My frames, like I can't play Origin. That's the thing with Origin right now. It's like we're just kind of ignoring the people on Xbox who are like struggling with frame rate issues on Origin because we've already locked it in.
I mean, the Xbox people screwed us over. We were going to get midship.
We would have gotten
midship.
I mean, midship was fine. Like, I miss midship,
midship
bro.
is such a good map, but like
we could do midship bomb maybe.
We're not going to have it anymore because of that. Oh, midship bomb would be 10 times better than any bomb we have so already. Like,
there you go.
Automatically.
Yeah.
But like, we get no MIDI now because Xbox, whatever. But I don't know if I want to point out a second ago, Royal 2 killed Lucid on screen when Lucid was in fridge, and Lucid peeked Royal 2. Royal 2 shot Lucid. Lucid went behind the wall. Within a millisecond of Lucid strafing behind the wall, Royal 2 had already shot the nade on the ground next to him and got the remote det. Like,
holy shit.
Little things like that. I'm like, dude, when I'm trying to set up like for like a remote det play or something, I feel like it takes me like a second or two to like track the nade, put my aimer on it, maybe zoom in if I have to, and then like shoot that thing. Whereas like for Royal 2, it was like instant. It was literally instant right there from him shooting Lucid to him shooting the nade on the ground and getting that kill. It's just nuts.
It's like M&K practically. Yeah.
And it's also really interesting. Like Royal 2 traditionally was always on a low sense. So like, but on this game he plays on like 7 or something like it.
Sometimes he's repping like 9 or some shit. I see him like 399 or something crazy. I'm like, what?
Not been his brand like at all. He is nasty. So
let's go SSG. They got it. It was a grueler.
Great win there. I want to see the stats on that
one. Where are we in the scrim is my question though. Let me see real quick. Hunter, I know that you can only stay so long today. You give me a cutoff, so
I got 3 minutes.
Okay,
I'm heading out at 4.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I would love to. I would love to do this again with you if you'll have me any time.
Of course.
Available to do it. I'll jump with you.
Oh, dude, I'd be happy to. This was so fun, and I feel like with you, and it's the same thing with Miquin. I feel like I could talk to you guys for freaking like the whole day, and we'd still have more shit to talk about. It's podcast vibes, right? My only concern is that I want to talk to chat. I want to talk about the series. I got so many like variables, and I also don't want to interrupt you as well, Hunter, because I'm not good with that. I was getting some.
Next time we'll hop in. Next time, maybe like maybe you and I, if we want to brainstorm prior, like we can come up with like a rhythm. Maybe we do like, hey, we cast a game, then we shoot the crap for a game. Like we just like create like a, you know what I mean, like a rhythm for it, where it's like, we're going to do color for a game, and then the other game we're going to talk about, lore and whatever, like just little things like that, storylines, or like where it's like every other game we lock in or something. So we're not like sweaty casting, losing our voices here, but we're also bringing some of that as well on top of like the insight. Maybe it would be a good thing to do. I don't know.
I'm open to it. I also like
figure something out.
Yeah, I also like the free nature of just like we talk about what we want to talk about, and if people enjoy it and they're vibing, then good, and I just don't do it every time. You know what I mean? So like what I've done is I did one last week. I have you on, and then maybe next week I have somebody else, then we get you back, and I figure out a system where I'm doing watch parties that are, I'm locked in, I'm giving chat full attention, and then chat knows what to expect coming into the more podcast style ones. But this is great, Hunter. Honestly, this has been such a pleasure.
I appreciate you having me, man. It's been an absolute blast to be here, and I hope that you and your stream, continue to thrive and love the content. I'm gonna shoot you a raid of the viewers that I got here. We're gonna keep hanging with you, but thanks for having me, my man.
No problem. I was going to do the exact the opposite. I'm not going to raid, but because I'm going to stay on until the scrim ends. But chat, guys, if you're on Twitch, please go over to Hunter. Go follow this man right now. If you're currently on Twitch, if you're on YouTube, guys, we're live on Twitch as well. We're doing like a collab duo stream. You can click out to his Twitch. If you're on YouTube, you check the title on YouTube. I've linked his. I think you have a YouTube. I don't know. Do you post on YouTube?
Yeah, you did link it. I appreciate it. I just
so
started streaming over there recently. So.
You should. It's honestly dope.
Yeah.
So please go give Hunter some support, guys. Man, as you can see, very well spoken. We had a good chat today. Love this change of pace. How many more SSG versus SR scrims do we have ahead? Like 20. Yeah, they're going to be a lot of scrims. And so we're not, you know what I mean? We do this every once in a while. Like, how much are we really missing, right? Scrims is like some of the homework. So people don't get content like this. So, yeah.
Thanks again for having me, my man.
No problem.
Catch you on the flippity flop, brother.
Sounds good, man. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Take care.
All right. Peace. Thank you for the raid, by the way. Welcome, guys. Anybody who, I mean, I guess you were here, basically. Appreciate the love, Hunter. Appreciate you, brother. Okay. We've watched a lot of Lucid. I don't know how much more we have left of the scrim. The optic scrim is still happening, I think. Yeah, I had the wrong audio. Don't worry. We're going to figure it out. YouTube liked it. Let's go. Happy having you guys on YouTube here. Hanging out. We got 600 of you on YouTube. 236 on Twitch. Hopefully you guys are vibing. Did you miss the scrim? You missed some of it. We've, yeah, like a good chunk of the scrim is finished at this point. It is 8 to 5. It might be done. But they're still in the lobby, giving me the impression that, yeah, they're going to play Strongholds Live Fire and maybe a Slayer to close it off. So they're 13 games in. Usually we get 14 or 15 games in a scrim. We'll lock in for a Live Fire Strongholds. What's up, Jaden? Do we like that? I'm on YouTube, Darkside. Go check me out on YouTube. It's currently live. Slush, take it easy. You're heading out? Slush, thank you for hanging out, brother. Sorry if I missed any of you guys' chats, your questions, or anything today. But I check out the replay. Streets, if Formal was gifted a magic bullet. Or not yet. Not yet, Enki. I might do that tonight. We doing shots for scrims? Are you crazy? Bro, it's Wednesday. Maybe some other time. But yeah, we had a lot of subs earlier, so thank you guys. If I didn't properly address it, Druck gave us a raid earlier. You miss Halo? Yeah, I'm here just making you miss it, huh? I want to definitely, I keep saying this, we got to get some actual grinding in and try to tackle the arena, you know, not just watch. Because there's stuff I want to do there too, like give you guys kind of like live commentary style content, you know, as I play. How's the optic scrim going? Optic complexity.
Grapple, walking batteries, Two grapple.
There's a tourney this weekend. Yeah, this upcoming weekend is another qualifier, bro. We're getting, you know, we got a lot of Halo content. You're gonna jet Nitro. Thank you for hanging out. Digging the convo. Sounds good, man.
Let's go. On the stairs.
Watch up, my top blue, apple.
250 to 17. They're looking much better on the map. Yeah, I mean, also could be matchup dependent too, but maybe they're working things out. Oh, right, Royal. That makes sense. That sucks, man.
Battle, Gold door, pipe door. Nice kill, John. Nice kill, bro. Let's go. Let's go and gold. There's one here, I think.
Right? I mean, I played a little bit last night, but not on my main account.
That is just good Halo right there.
Oh my God.
That is just damn good Halo. My God.
God. Tony. Is it Toneshi BB with the sub? Thank you, Tony. Let's go. Or Toneshi? Is that how I say it? Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the way. I appreciate you. Formal had a flank on Spark. You know, shot in the back. Still managed to turn that around. I was smurfing? Yeah, a little bit.
Bottom also. Nice, one, two. Last two.
Yeah, the last one, nice one.
It's a good nade, really good nade.
I think this weekend, Versetti, yeah. I think this weekend. All right, this match is loading. I want to watch Last Shot's POV for the end of the Shopify SR scrim. I feel like this is obviously much closer. 8-5 is the closest scrim that SSG and Shopify have had, right? So it's showing maybe some improvement in SSG, at least in the scrims. Like Hunter was saying earlier, this is obviously not like the most important indication of who's going to play best, you know, come tournaments. Holy cook. Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get it over 800 and keep it there. So if you want to help a brother out, by all means, you know, I'm here. I appreciate y'all. You can vibe, you can sub. I mean, whatever feels right. I think there's a qualifier tournament this weekend. So in case you're, you know, not sick of Halo yet, we're going to see Optic, maybe Optic SSG and Optic SR this weekend. We've never seen the full Optic team play SSG in a tournament format or at all. So that's definitely the matchup I really want to see this weekend. We'll see if it happens. No, they were like 3-3 or 4-4 or something like that. But then as the scrim went on, it ended up being like 10-4 or like 11-4. Like it ended up, SR went on like a big win streak. So SSG had started strong, but they didn't maintain it. Bologna, 4 months.
That is just good Halo right there. That is just
damn good Halo.
Oh my God.
Let's go, Bologna. Welcome back. Is it Bologna? Is it, do I say Bologna? Bologna ship? Or is that, maybe I'm just reading that. Anyway, thank you, brother. Welcome back. Love you guys. Huge Optic fan too. You're faded for saying that. 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern is when I have the best luck. Except, okay. Yeah, there's certain times in the day, especially in Europe, where you're going to have the best opportunity to play. Daniel. Dark Side Dude. From Twitch. Oh, cool. Good to see you on YouTube, Daniel. Let's go, brother. Man followed through. Exactly, Zach. Yeah. I mean, we've talked about it enough, but I think it's fair to say, like, don't let the scrims and the online tournaments indicate whether or not SSG has a chance of winning a major. They definitely can, right? That said, I do think it means something to see Optic win the first line online tournament. You know, Hunter was saying that the practice Shopify have should give them somewhat of an advantage, you would think, but you know, even with the extra time Shopify had to work on their game, like Optic still coming out and winning, I think that does definitely mean something. What's the score? It's 8-3. 8-3 right now. This is the final OBJ matchup in the scrim right here. Last shot POV. Don't let the best man photo fool you. Almost 50k shy points. On my way to 100k. We got to give you... We have to have like a proper... What are you working towards, right? You're just gambling it. We got to give you something to work towards. Legend's been nuts. Yeah, he always is. Definitely curious to see what Last Shot can do this year on LAN. He was pretty nasty last year. But now he's got a God Squad, right? Anthony, thank you for the YouTube follow, brother. Welcome. It's 8-5. Yeah, it's 8-5. Did I say that? I thought I said 8-5. The screen says 8-5. And this game is close. 2 dead, though, off the opening here. That's going to be a trip cap. They'll be spawning them B, but they could split in the OS in a second. So Last Shot's going to watch B, and then he can turn to OS as it's open, right? This is a perfect little spawn trap. That pressure that he put on B, like, split the spawns, and then he's ready to collapse and kill them. Is that 3, maybe 4? I think they got a 4 dead right there. As they're doing the same thing. Little rinse and repeat cycle right now with Snakebite, forcing a trade. That's a big play at a Snakebite to get a trade and open things up in A so they can finally start to break the momentum. But Shopify getting away with murder. Getting away with a lot of time off that team play. I mean, yeah, Last Shot in any individual fight, I put my gamble on him most of the time, you know, but he could even take on 2 players at once. He's just very, man is wiser than you'd think, right? He knows when he's at an advantage and how to capitalize, and he knows how to get out of a bad situation very quickly, too. 12-0-1. Wow. Yeah. That's crazy. That's why we're watching this scrim. Actually, I think this is going to end soon at this rate. He's going to shoot the nades. Last shot knew it, so he immediately 180s and slides, right? Stellar shoots the nades as quickly as he can. And he's just too weak to get out. That was the best possible escape Last shot could have gone for there, but you know it's coming, you know? Are we getting another year after this? Why else would Optic make a God Squad? They made a God Squad to win this year. They don't care about next year. It's all only about this year. Whether or not a God Squad continues into next year depends on how successful this year is viewership-wise, right? Minus 200 ping. His formal was eating the servers. Piggy had a tweet that he posted the other day about how the ping system works in these like scrims and where it seems to favor Texas, which I think was kind of valid here. We'll look at it after the game. Halo Infinite is not good at prioritizing a server that is like an equal, like it doesn't balance its server selection like equal distance between the players, if that makes sense. It skews it for whatever reason more to Texas than other servers. Yeah, they're nasty. The flipping way. How we doing, Alpha? Last shot, getting the double off that snipe pickup. Looking for Lucid here, too. Repulses him out to the open. Lucid getting caught mid-nade throw. Can't even find a kill. Now Eco's in trouble. Spawn's going to be open back tower here as he pushes up. I like this angle of attack. And then he's going to dip out the angle. Looking for back B if that spawn's open, but should be like back tower mud side. They're fighting C. It's going to flip the spawns to A. They're in A now. Tex in here. My ping is all over the place. I think if you got enough people from Texas in your lobby, then it'll create a hard pull over to the server, right? So if you're in Texas and the rest of the lobby that you're playing in isn't, then it'll skew more so. But if it's like 50-50, 4 players and the coach or whatever in Texas and the other half of the lobby isn't, it seems to be like, it seems to favor that Texas server.
Nearing victory.
That's a good point, Zach. Yeah, stay safe out there, guys. The weather's been unpredictable and kind of terrible in places. Yeah, I see you. Oh my god, last shot. Holy shit, bro. It's got to be over. It's got to be it. They're spawning them OS. We're on C already.
That is just good Halo right there.
Tara, we sue.
Good Halo. My god.
Let's go. 14 months. Tara, we sue. Much love. Thank you for the resub. I appreciate you. Welcome back. That's damn good Halo. 783 out of 800. I don't know if we can do it, but it would be incredible if we could somehow get back to 800. Every day we lose them, though. Keep losing subs. Last shot is a machine. Yeah. So Complexity, I mean, they're definitely no slouch, and I hope that they end up being a LAN team. I feel like their LAN capability is very high. But, yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. Optic are... You know, they're getting better as time goes on. And the gap seems to be getting wider, you know? Last shot's the what, the water boil? What are you saying? The trajectory that last shot is on, like the sky's the limit, you know what I mean? Like if he keeps going, he could maybe end up on Optic at some point too. If Optic sticks around, if Halo Infinite sticks around, if we get a new Halo game, his objective is to win, right? So his stock is very high right now. But the only person in his way or team in his way at the moment is Optic. It's good to see SSG give him a bit of a run, but that Strongholds was not close. This is Legend POV on Optic as we wait for the next Shopify SSG series or match. I'm not sure if there will be one, but both these scrims are just about over. Top 4, yeah, he got top 4 at the end of the last year. Frim, thank you for the follow, guys. Welcome. We got a lot of follows earlier. I appreciate you guys. I couldn't say anything about it. Who knows? Maybe Harrison. I picked Legends POV just because I want to see him run flags. And because he's nasty. Having trouble chasing down Mental here. Somehow wins that fight. 3 dead right before they get to the flag. Precision's going to run on it and try to plant it. Nice save and cut off. Straight through bottom. Here we go. This is why I'm on the Legend POV, right? It's a frame perfect run every time. Flawless, bro. 8 seconds. The flag's in the yellow base. They got less to worry about. SSG overtime will take phase for top 3. I could see that, but you know, I want to believe their potential's higher. Our expectations coming into the year is that the marquee matchup is Optic SSG. You know, SR coming into the year we didn't think would be, you know, this significant or this strong, right? Before we'd seen them play.
I'm gonna beat you right now, Spear.
Yeah, he does that run a lot. Like the moment he notices he's got an opportunity for mid, because mid can be risky, but if you got that timing, which he did, and you're that fast, I mean, it's the best run on the map. Splattered him with a Wraith while he was sniping. He was on my team, and it was an accident. Oh my god. Did you get banned in his chat the next day? You should go check. Just make sure. Scrim Precision's gears-based Halo team. He was located in Hawaii. Yeah, Precision's not... Hunter brought that up, is that he definitely doesn't have any advantages on the ping side. Precision. And Precision's like a younger, super individually talented player that we talked about a lot last year. So, you know, his internet could be holding him back a little bit. We'll see come LAN if Complexity could do better. Trigger Happy, how you doing, brother? Thank you for the kind words. I hope you're well, too. We're chilling, man. We're watching Halo. I'm definitely vibing. No problem, Thomas. Brower's been getting... Oh, okay. Well, you know, it's not my place to judge, but, you know, I hear you. Focus on the Halo. What you're trying to tell me is focus on the Halo. Okay, we'll do. Should only get better. So should everybody else. I mean, if you're a player at this level, then I expect you to continue to refine the ability. You know what I mean? But yeah, the speed at which last shot cycle are improving is staggering, bro. Fortress Bomb was the draw. Yeah, that makes sense, Dragon. Fortress Bomb is that one map game type that's needs work. I know we're in the middle of this one with Legend. I really do want to see... Is this Bomb, though? CTF. I want to keep on with just the... this is the title of the Scrim today. This is the close match. Even though that's a close match, your Complexity Optic, I got full faith Optic's going to pull that one out. Did it end? Oh, no, it did. Okay, 2-1. 100k points, I do a bathtub stream. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, think about it. Imagine. I don't have the setup, bro. Like, logistically speaking, what am I going to do? Take my cell phone out on a bathtub? I haven't taken a bath. This sounds wrong. I haven't taken a bath in, like, the better part of a decade. Exclusively showers. Never heard him, no offense. My buddy was playing with told me exactly who he was, so I threw him a follow. Who are you talking about? Salt bass? Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing out. You know what I have done is, it's not a bath, but like the ice bath or whatever. Zach, thank you, brother. $5 super chat. Let's go. I appreciate you. How you doing, Zach? Thank you, man. Thoughts on improving Assault? They have to change something in the game type. They can change the size of the plant area and make it larger so that you've got more space to potentially use like cover while you plant. I think that'd be a decent, easy option. You could add more spawns to the center, closer to the center of the map. So when you push into the base, then the spawns sort of flip and they're farther away from the bomb, making it harder to save when a team breaks in. Right? If you can change the spawns a little bit, maybe it'll be harder to break it. Those are the two like easiest fixes that I can think of that don't require you changing the game type properties in any significant way, like in comparison to Aqua, right? Like if you make it so that the bomb plants faster, then that would be weird because that would be unique to the map, right? So I don't like the idea of that. I think either change the size of the space or change the spawns and go from there. Commentating from the bathtub. How many subs? How many subs are we going to get for that? That sounds like a money-making opportunity. Maybe I should be considering that more seriously. This is the smell. Oh my god. An overtime scenario if you're holding the bomb? Yeah, I think the timer should stop when you hold bomb, personally. That might be a good play, because then it would prevent people from hiding and throwing it off the map constantly. Like, you could still play ball, and you would still get an advantage from playing the bomb, but you wouldn't get, like... as much time off the clock as you currently do, you know? Y'all are wild, bro. Y'all are wild. Are we that down bad? There's no way. Ooh, that was a good try to last shot. That's that peak. Snap on a Stellar. Stellar changing his routing like that, though. Made him a hard target. What about that CSGO limbo with the economy? That's not going to come into Halo till like the summer earliest at the rate that it seems to be going. Like they said, they're working on it. There's going to be like a test build that I think will be showcased in the end of March at the Kson Invitational. So be on the lookout. I think some of the pros are going to get to try out the new S&D mode at last weekend of March. But as far as like when that would be implemented into the game, if it ever is, like it would have to come into a general playlist that's not ranked, that's not esports, and then we have to see what we think, right? Because it might not be competitive viable, right? So people got to play it, see if they like it, and if it's like a fan favorite, then it would end up replacing Slayer Game 5, is what Tashi was saying, that like maybe he could see it replacing a Slayer, but not replacing one of the existing game types that we have. So like he doesn't see it replacing Assault. It's not intended to replace Assault, you know? It was just something that they were working on separately. What's the best man cam? I don't know. Last shot is this is his stream. I don't control it. Best man is a gorgeous human being, so you know, why wouldn't you put his face on your broadcast? I don't know. Best man is the coach of SR. It's got to be some running joke or something. 3 dead. This has got to be a plant, right? The last second save here from Cycle. They cap it. Tie game with 5 minutes. Let's go, Nick. Don't let me distract you too much. This is do or die territory. I don't know about Lunchbox. At the moment, I don't think so, but I've seen some like rumors, but they're not reputable. So I really don't know. I think Lunchbox might still be out of the esport. Just the flag out the gate. It'd be tough to pick that one up with last shot dead here. World 2 with a kill on Stellar. There's still 3 up with good positioning around the base. World 2 taking the elbow. It's a trade on Lucid. Might be an opportunity to grab the flag out courtyard here. Leaving the elbow spawn open. Last shot looking for it, right? You got a whiff of a player top tower. Always coming up in a second here, too. Oh, Stellar with a huge, huge win. Giving an opening to SSG to maybe get a touch on that OS. Where's the flag? Flag's out front. On the arches. They win this team fight. They win the game. OS still in play. They both tried to touch. A little bit inefficient at a SR. Maybe a miscommunication, right? Now they're kind of staggered. They're going to give up OS in the process. But somehow, I don't know if somebody died on OS. I don't know what happened. Looked like SSG might have had like a chance to angle it out. But you know, maybe I missed something there. Last shot just decided to go for the cap. And it worked out.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Back to Optic Legend. What do I think of FaZe beating SSG in the HCS Open?
I'm blown in now. What the fuck?
Chalking it up to first tourney. I think that's part of it. I think FaZe is a better team than we anticipated. That might be part of it. Also, just this reminds me. So Piggy had this tweet, right, about the servers. So he said, Halo Infinite not having server select is horrible for competitive integrity. Here's why. So you've got scenario 1. South Central server. Team A pings 10 MS, 10 MS, 10 MS, total 40 MS. That's Optic right now, basically, right? The Texas South Central server. Team B pings 80, 60, 40, 40, total 220 MS. And then scenario 2, Team A pings 25, 25, 25, 25, and then Team B pings 40, 30, 30, 50, total is 150. So like this is more even. If you pick the North Central server, I guess is what he's trying to say in this scenario, then you'd have a more balanced lobby. But this is a real example. He's saying the game chooses scenario 1 for some unknown reason. Scenario 2 is clearly more competitively balanced for ping for both teams. But for whatever reason, the game seems to choose the server closer to Optic and gives them the 10 MS, gives the enemy team 80, 60, 40, 40 with a total of 220. You know, when you're calculating, when you look at it like that, that's a pretty big gap, like differential and ping, tallied together. So a good tweet from Piggy, honestly, if he's correct. I haven't researched into this. I don't know, the specifics, but like server select or like
Boys,
you know, I don't know why it is that the server chooses this balancing, but note that FaZe, like Optic, are in Texas. So FaZe is playing in a scenario similar to Optic. They're in Texas. I'm not sure if Trippy is. I think he might be. I don't know. But 3 out of 4 members of FaZe at the very least are in Texas. So that the ping, you know, will have some impact on how that series went. But I think in general, I think people are just kind of sleeping on that FaZe roster. Those guys are nasty, right? It's not like surprising to see them play as well as they are. Score is 10-5. The SR scrim. That's correct. Thank you. How do you get that math when adding individual pings? I don't know. That's what he did. He just added the ping numbers up. Obviously, that's not like how it works specifically. So maybe it's like kind of a. Is it fallacious? Like fallacy? Like maybe that's not like the most. That's not the best way to like compare ping by adding them up and totaling them like that. But it is interesting when you put it like that. Holy shit! Legend with the snap. This is Slayer. I thought it was CTF. Oh, I'm stuck in my settings here. Get me out.
Do they have rockets?
Come on. Yeah, they have rockets, I think.
It's out. This one of me, Brumis, watch out. Big Brumis. Ah, no, they're
Just an illustration of how it's imbalanced. Yeah, it's not like exactly that way because each person plays in their own individual ping. So yeah, it's, you know, maybe not the best way to compare it, but he has a valid point. He's got a valid point. It illustrates a point. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Blue VR.
Shouldn't the dedicated server connect and sync delay to each? I don't know. Like we could talk about shoulds and shouldn'ts and whatnot, but I think it's fair to say that the game feels better on 10 ping than it does on 50 or 60 ping. Like that's facts. Does the game feel perfect on 10 though? It doesn't. Halo Infinite Online has some serious shenanigans. Regardless, like you know what I mean? Nobody's safe or exempt from Halo Infinite Online play, regardless of your ping. But I do think it's fair to say that if you're on 10 ping versus 60, then the 10 ping player has a slight advantage. It's not like, you know, back in Host and like Halo 2 or some shit like that. But it's a talking point, and it's going to continue to be a talking point until Optic, of course, comes out and they win the LAN. And then you can continue to shift the narrative. I think it's fair to say, like, in my expectations, Optic, this weekend, I'm expecting Optic to win again, regardless of the pings and all that. But I think the ping conversation is going to persist probably throughout the year, but especially until Optic proves at a LAN that they're the best. Right? Let them do that, then. I'm sure they want to, you know? Whatever. Generally, the better team ends up being the better team. But when competition is very close, like with Shopify and Optic, competition is like very much a 50-50. So I think for the Shopify fans specifically, I understand the argument because it seems like, you know, the most minor change happens in those Shopify series and they win versus Optic, you know? So like when it's like that much of a nail biter, when they actually seem evenly matched, then that dialogue makes more sense. But if Optic's coming through and they're like, it's a 3-0, you know, then that dialogue, you know, doesn't stand as strong as it currently does. Does that make sense? After 150 FPS, is this effect? So FPS and your ping is two different things. All the pros are playing on good FPS. That's not an issue. Either lock 200 or something crazy like Drux on like 400, 500 FPS. It's crazy. Point is only valid if he provided proof. Maybe true. Yeah, I mean, I trust that he was legitimate in what he was saying, but you're correct in that, like, in order for us to like actually dive into that and like, holy shit, bro, what's Renegade's popping up too? Whatever he did was crazy, man. Is he streaming? He's streaming. Hold on.
I'm looking cave.
Chat want to like clip that, or I go back and clip whatever just happened?
One shot, dead.
Back right.
I'm here.
Window weak.
Watch out, back.
Back, one shot, dead. I'm gonna die.
My favorite team. Man, I like seeing Optic win. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's go house.
Holy shit, that overkill just
Close
broke the
one,
fuck out of them.
But I'm not like, I don't know, like I don't have like an allegiance.
Really weak.
That's it.
And blue cave, weak, mental.
And the green wall's doing well. Halos generally thrive in viewership wise, you know. So seeing them do well is nice.
That's actually fucking disgusting. Holy shit.
What did he do?
Nah, if that was
attack for
nah,
that?
if that was a oh my god, dude. I would have been like a second off the tech, dude.
I'm gonna get it for everyone for that.
Whoa, what are you? Okay, hold on. He seems to be like actually. Holy. Okay, hold on. Can I just like clip it and then get full screen? Oh my god. Oh, he didn't. Wait, he got an over and he almost got a tag? Is that what happened? Hold on a second.
Blue maze, watch the blue maze, watch the maze.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, more red maze, red maze.
Red stamp shoot, red stamp shoot. Party.
Right here.
Red stamp shoot.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Blue spinning, bro.
Yeah, blue cave.
I'm not, I just want to make sure I grab the right portion of it.
I'll get blue window.
And then I'll show it to you full screen. Full screen. Did they stake him? I think they did.
Yeah, blue beer. Watch out, blue beer.
Yeah, I hate that Twitch made it so you gotta clip this shit first, and it's like hold on.
Maze.
Yeah, Huss first guy. Red flags one.
Oh, the
Nice shot,
spawn.
Sean. Holy shit, dude. We can get more.
It's the best spawn, bro.
Red oven.
For Renegade.
Oh
my god, bro. Holy shit. He's still alive. Wait.
Blue cave weak, mental.
Where does he die?
I'm looking.
Window.
That's going on Twitter. That's just going on Twitter.
Cave. I'm looking cave.
Cave weak, mental.
Red beer.
Cave one. Oh my god.
Yeah, red beer again.
Yeah, all right, that's good enough. I'm gonna clip it like that. That's going on Twitter. Sean with the YouTube follow. Thank you, brother. Or like the Optic Twitter is gonna blow that shit up instantly. Yeah. Don't worry. All right. Here's the clip. If you guys want the link, I'm gonna see this shit full screen though. It's like a little bit longer though. I grabbed like the largest amount of time that I could, right? So.
Red stamp shoot.
Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Blue spinning, bro.
Yeah, blue cave.
Here, bottom in.
I'll get blue window.
Bro, it's the fadeaway. He calls the spawn too though, which is nasty.
Yeah, blue beer.
Watch
Watch out, blue beer.
Beautiful.
Maze.
Yeah, Huss first guy.
That spawn is nuts. Out of all locations he could spawn, I'm surprised it was there. Cave must have been locked down like sightlines. Bro, listen to Renegade, breathe in. He does this. I don't know if this is a Renegade thing or it's like if there's like any legitimacy to the sharp inhale. Listen to the sharp inhale from Renegade before he shoots.
Okay.
Red oven.
Oh my god!
Oh no, it's lagging. He does like a sharp inhale through his nose, and then and then he just hits the craziest shot you've ever seen. Like something about the oxygen supply to his brain before he hits the shot. That's like something he does. Yeah, when he's in a 1v1, he does this like sharp inhale through his nose, and then he just hits the most insane shot you've ever seen.
Nice shot, Sean. Holy shit, dude. We can get more.
No. Something's delayed with the audio. I don't know what's messing up my audio. I'm sorry, guys. I can't even like play it. If it's just like my Twitch clip or what.
Magic.
You do that shooting in real life? Yeah, I think it's like a sports thing too. You know, like this idea of like your breathing control is important in everything you do, right? So like, why wouldn't it be in gaming too, right?
Yeah, hold on.
I don't know why it is that my audio is.
Yeah, do that. Okay.
Blue spinning.
Yeah, blue cave.
I think it's okay.
Here, bottom in.
If I started from the beginning of the clip.
Yeah, blue
Almost watching it back.
Watch out, blue beer.
He thought Sparty was gonna drop that adjustment on the right stick there, just to make sure you hit him. Crazy spawn. And then he knows his team's pushing out the base. They're gonna flip the spawns to the side of the map. He gets shot in the back. Or I guess he didn't react.
Oh my god! Holy fuck!
That breathing through his nose, bro. And then just does that shit. So he didn't read the spawn. He just like reacted to where he was getting shot from perfectly. I was thinking like maybe you read the spawn behind him. That was gross, bro. Holy shit.
Red side, red oven, red oven. One shot.
Oh my! And that's not the tag? That should have been the tag. Still a sick clip. That's how they end the scrim. That's the last game in the scrim. Holy crap. Holy crap. I want to like, I don't know. I didn't give that. I feel like I didn't give that a proper breakdown, but that was pretty nasty. Hold your breath too. Maybe it's a response to the stress of the moment. Maybe I think once again, Mick, what I think he talked about, like something about getting oxygen into your brain.
Yeah, you guys should find
to breathe.
Actually,
yeah. But like that's that supply of oxygen in that moment, and like maybe increasing focus and reaction time is like the idea.
I need to.
What are the vibes of Bound right now? Like,
Nah, he's taking days off. Like...
He is, bro.
From streaming? Is that what he's saying?
He's taking a lot of days off.
Bound hasn't been streaming. That's the thing, is like these guys don't normally, or Bound specifically doesn't normally stream very consistently, but because he's on Optic, we're seeing like a lot more of him, which is sick. But scrims are done, I guess, right? Like Precision, there's Boo Boo who was playing earlier. I think it was TSM. That must be done. It was like, yeah, it was 14-0 or something like that. 14-0-1 versus COL. Yeah. For the Optic scrim. Pretty crazy. TSM is Druck, Soul Snipe, Talik, and Cherished.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is Formal getting off? I might,
don't know why.
I think I might hop off and raid somebody too. 14-0 Optic versus COL. Yeah, insane. Time for the Shyway MM grind. I gotta have dinner. If I have dinner and I feel like getting back on, I might get back on, but I kind of want to.
Maniac with the raid. Thank you, brother.
Zero is crazy. Maniac got off. I was gonna raid. I was gonna raid Maniac.
Monster Hunter Wilds.
I was gonna raid Maniac.
ETH, bro.
This is the way.
Tom, thank you for the follow, brother. Welcome. Appreciate it.
This is the way.
What's up, Woolly Bandit? GG's Jamie.
Yo.
Short and sweet. I think today, right? How do I mute this?
Hold
on.
Why'd you just randomly bring that up?
Optic didn't drop a map. SSG and Shopify had a pretty respectable scrim today, I would say, right? Like that last map that we watched, or the Stronghold's a little bit more dominant for sure. The final scrim score, I think, was like 10-5 though for Shopify, right? I think they locked out. Yeah, I think it was 10-5 final scrim score. But a lot of close games with SSG. I was thinking of rating Lucid. Is he even there though? I think he's there. Fortress Bomb, yeah, it's getting tied a lot, like, and not just with Optic, but we're getting the same outcome in other people's scrims, which is not good to see, so. All right, guys. Show them some love. 52 viewers, more than, yeah, sorry, Cody. Maybe I'll do him on the next one. I'll get him on the next one, my bad, man. I already locked in the Lucid raid before I saw that. Good night, Viltrumite. Y'all gotta chill. You're on YouTube. You don't care what I rate on YouTube. You're not gonna even see it. It's for the Twitch chat. It's for my Twitch chatters. How many did we get over to Lucid? 159 right now. Any news at 343? Well, what, 86 Fortress? We'll see. They'll make some sort of change because clearly things aren't going well right now. Lucid's raiding Joey? Is he actually about to get off? If he's about to get off, I'll raid Gunny. Lucy's getting off. All right, I'll raid Gunny. Canceled, redone. Thank you, Cody. There we go. We got him now. We're losing viewers quickly. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Thank you for the subs today. Hopefully you enjoyed the Hunter JJX chat. If you guys want to listen to the full chat, It's on YouTube. The VOD is there. Obviously, my Twitch VODs are available too, but YouTube is a good place to replay anything. I think we had a lot of good moments in the discussion today. And feedback is welcome, right? Because I want to ideally do more of these. Like once a week, I think would be cool. We have a different guest on every week. Hope you're doing well, by the way, Hardy. Thank you for coming by, brother. All right, guys. I'm going to get dinner. Have a good rest of your night. Twitch. Go give Gunny some love. Give Gunny a follow. And then on the YouTube side, should get Lunchbox on. That's a great recommendation. I'll see what I can do, man. I've kind of just been like rolling with people that, like it's kind of conveniently worked, right? Like Miquin came by the stream. I was like, bro, you should come on. He came on, right? Hunter came by the stream. You should come on, right? It was same sort of thing happened with Eli, but trying to figure out whether or not we can get like a VOD reviewing or something. I'll see what I can do. That way I don't have to like reach out too much, but we'll find something. He'd have great info, I'm sure, and I haven't talked to him too much, so that'd be a cool experience for me. Anyway, good night, YouTube. Thank you for hanging out, guys.